Austintown Fitch and Mayfield Wildcats. Game 4 versus 13 in Division II, Region 5. Ty Bartell joined alongside the legend himself, Mike Ackelson, in which is going to be a great matchup here, Mike. I mean, what we're seeing, a lot of speed both ways. Fitch won the toss. They chose to defer. What do you expect to see? Falcon defense, Mayfield offense coming out of this game?
Well, that's the thing. I think if you're Fitch's defense, you know that the offense for Mayfield is talented. You know that the quarterback can throw. They've got two speedy wide receivers, and I think set the tone. If you can get a 3 and out and all of a sudden start to will your way with that ground and pound game of the 1-2 punch, and just like that, Fitch could start to take this game over. But I also like the fact I'm a big defer guy. You get one at the end of the first half, and then you get the ball right back. I always call it the 2-for-1 deal. So I think that's T.J. Parker was already looking ahead to that. If I can get up 2 scores on them, then the advantage really lies to the Falcons because they're able to pin their ears back defensively then.
And you've seen as well as I have all year, Mike. I mean, Coach Parker always able to pull out those trick plays from his back pocket too. So that 2-for-1 deal makes him extra dangerous. We saw it against Harding. Before you know it, 21 points in a quarter, they flipped that game on their head. Looking to hopefully do the same here against a very tough, very stout Mayfield offense.
Well, that's one thing. I was looking at Mayfield, and, here's a team that traditionally makes the playoffs. Last year they did not. But prior to that, they had a stretch where they just consistently playoff. And I was like, I'm looking for any tie. Is there a common opponent between Fitch and Mayfield? Nothing back through 2015 that I could rely to. And then it popped out to me. Mayfield played Warren Harding in the 2015 playoffs and beat them. This is the first time these two teams have ever seen each other. Yes, they have tape, but the actual game speed of seeing each other for the first time, there's some unknowns for both sides.
Big injury note to state as well. Deshaun Vaughn Jr. done for the season with an ankle injury. So Cam Smith, who stepped in against Warren Harding, stepped in against the Boardman Spartans. He's going to be tasked as the starter under center tonight. We've seen him. We've gotten a chance to talk to him on the airwaves here at YSN2. Great leader, great mentality. He's the guy with the perfect head on his shoulders to take over this position. He has a chance to shine with the lights brightest tonight.
He really does, and this is the time to shine. You hit week 11, all eyes start to increase. The first week, yes, there's 16 teams in each region. But as that starts to dwindle, more and more people start to pay attention. Perfect setup here for Cam Smith, but the guy I'm waiting to see in all year is Jamel James. This dude is the real deal. I've watched from East Palestine for 10 weeks, Fitch Falcon football. I'm finally glad I want to see this kid in person.
Jamel James tying the program record 5 rushing touchdowns a week ago. DJ Williams, the secondary back, the 1-2 combination, has the Fitch program record at 301 rushing yards in a single game. Did that against the Boardman Spartans. That's where the Falcons' strength lies, is in the running game, as they're going to be looking for quick hits there. On the other side, Mayfield, definitely that passing game. Nick Biega is a big name to look out for. 4.4 second 40-yard dash. That's some real elite speed, and he's got track offers from OSU, Iowa, so he's looking to go next level for that elite speed.
Not only that, but you pointed out something. He also happens to be their punter and place kicker. If there's ever a time you want to start to pull out some tricks, if you're maybe sitting around that 40 and you think, let's pin them deep, that's perfect opportunity for a fake punt. Because even if you don't make it, you still have them on their side of the field. So it's going to be interesting. I think there could be some special plays dialed up for him.
We're definitely excited for that. All that action and more coming up. 7 o'clock kickoff right here on YSNLive.com. Ty Bartell, Mike Ackelson back with the call of all the action right after this.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers.
From sales to financing and even service.
We'll help build your perfect vehicle
and lock in your trade value
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries. We guarantee financing.
Regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Flynn. Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at MyersFamilyINS.com or find us on Facebook.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
But now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience. and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
Hello and welcome in, all you football fans, to another installment of YSN Live Football. Ty Bartell joined alongside Mike Ackelson in the booth for this contest in Division II, Region 5, between the 4-seeded Austintown Fitch Falcons and the 13th-seeded Mayfield Wildcats. Austintown has won the coin toss, elected to defer, so we are going to see a kickoff received by the Wildcats.
We're going to get to see that offense real quick of theirs. Quarterback, electric, thrown for over 1,400 yards. 2 speedy wideouts. Nick Biaga, one to keep an eye on. Dylan Parnell, but they also got a pretty good running back. And Anthony Santoro, he's got over 800 yards rushing. So this is going to be interesting. Their offense, pretty good. Their 4 losses to all playoff teams. Mayfield, not bad, but I don't know if they've seen a team like Fitch yet.
It's going to be interesting to see, as the Falcons' defense has held some of the best offenses to under 30 all season. It's a team that scored over 41 points a game this season. Definitely going to rely on that offense, but they're going to get a chance to see what the defensive 11 can do against this Wildcat O.
Absolutely. I am ready, Ty, and I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'll chirp in when I need to.
Josiah Burneye, the Falcons' longtime kicker, dials in from the 40-yard line, boots it away, hauled in just inside the 5 and taking off. Biaga tripped up, and a nice tackle that time that was Biaga, I believe. Dylan Parnell, one of the kick returners. So Parnell they do a great job on special teams there, Mike, getting that tackle in the open field, and that's what you're going to need to do against the speed.
And not only that, they did not get out to the 20-yard line, so that is a perfect setup. This is what T.J. Parker was hoping. Let's defer. Let's set the tone with our defense early.
Showing trips to the right, single receiver set out wide to the left of Monastero. Rocco Monastero stays out of the shotgun. Santoro on his right hip. Takes the snap, 2-step drop, looks to dial it in, drops it short, and looking to pick up the yards that way. It's a first down pass to that man, Nick Biaga.
Yeah, they wasted no time getting their speedy wide out right into the game there, and they did it real nice. They drew everybody off to the left side of the field, and he was wide open on the right. How about this? No huddle, little up-tempo right out of the gate for him.
Nick Biaga, one of the targets that you're going to be looking at for this Wildcat team against Maslin Jackson. 4 receptions, 3 touchdowns, 117 yards in that contest. That just shows what kind of quick strike ability he has with his speed. 4.4 seconds in that 40-yard dash. Santoro gets the handoff, but the Falcons, like they've done so well this season, they hold that run short for a yard.
Absolutely, and that was perfect. You come back off a nice pass play. Let's see where Fitch's run defense is, and they were right there to bottle it up. And the Falcons, pretty stout up front. They got 3 big guys just anchoring that line.
Brian Robinson, one of the guys back healthy. He's got a slew of offers from multiple schools. Definitely looking to go D1, only in his junior season, and making an impact despite the injuries that he suffered this year. As, again, out of the shotgun, looking to dial it in deep. Pass on the way, and it's misfired. No flags on the field, as we'll actually shout out our crew today. Referee John Patton, umpire Lou Cardona, linesman Tony Tarantino, line judge Randy Patterson, and the back judge Brad DiTullio.
5 guys that have been around for a long time. I've heard those names forever, and they get the job done. I like Fitch's defense there. They're a little bit of a cross out of the 2 inside receivers, but the DBs held strong in their lanes, and that pass was to no one.
First test now for the Wildcats. 3rd down and long coming up for Mayfield. looking again to the pass, going to the left, passes out to Biega. Flag is down after the tackle is short, and we'll have to see what the call is.
Ineligible man
like,
downfield. I thought holding it first.
I was thinking that as well. I was looking to the referee for the call, but actually it looks like the call might have came from the line judge.
The line judge made that one.
As they're going to have some technical issues.
Yeah.
They're screeching out the stadium.
All right, so if you're Fitch's defense, you did exactly what you wanted. You gave up 1 first down, and now you're forcing them to punt because it's just too deep at your 32-yard line to try and go for it on the first series of the game.
You see all these games every Friday night. You do the audible call, Mike. You know Friday nights can get a little funky, too, and momentum plays a very crucial part in these contests. You want to make sure you come out with the right momentum. Stopping them like this, 3 and out after an initial first down might just do the trick for the Falcons.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what T.J. Parker was hoping for.
As this punt, kind of a line drive punt looking to get a bounce, and it's going to take a few bounces, and what a nicely executed punt inside the 35, flipping field position as the Falcons going to start a few yards past the 30, looking like the 33 is where they're going to start off at.
I haven't seen too many punts that are like a curveball. That ball hit, and I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, it's going to go out around the 45, 46. It just curled back in. Nice roll for Mayfield, and just like that, good that they got it on that side of the field. But, boy, if you're the Falcons, you got to like setting up shop at your 33-yard line.
The guy you were excited about, Jamel James, coming out of the Falcons' backfield. Cam Smith in the shotgun. 1 receiver each way for the Falcons duo set. The snap, the handoff. Jamel gets it, finds a hole. Jamel James off to the races. There he goes. Break it in for 6. 1 play. Falcons on top.
Wow. How about the offensive line? You could have drove a Mack truck through there. They absolutely not only made the block in the interior, but they got to the secondary guys. The linebackers were sealed off, and it was like the sea just parted for Jamel James, and I wanted to see what he could do. He does it on the first play.
They definitely were hyping up this matchup. A tough Mayfield team coming in at the 13th seed, setting the tone on the right way. First play of the game, handed off to Jamel James. Old number 5 does what he's done all season.
Wow. Unbelievable. Nice run, nice carry. He never looked back, and he was gone.
Josiah Burneye splits the uprights for the additional point. It's 7-0 Fitch to start out. 10:24 to go in this game. As get this clock situated, too. As we look at that play, what a play by Fitch. What a play by Jamel James. You highlight the blocking by the Falcons, and you got to figure that's one thing that Coach Parker has been really emphasizing on going into this Division II Region 5. It's a tough region. Line play needs to be at its best.
Well, not only that, talk about the way he dialed the script up. Let's defer. Get them to punt. And on your first offensive play, you take it to the house. You go 67 yards. And just like that, you're on the board. And all the momentum right now riding with Fitch. If you can get another stop on this one, all of a sudden, things could really start to snowball for the Falcons.
If you're not woken up as a Mayfield Wildcat now, I don't know what else can wake you up. Wildcats needing a score, it feels like now, this possession after the quick strike by Fitch. Always dangerous, though, in this special teams unit because of their speed. Fitch going to have to keep themselves disciplined on the special teams side. Josiah Burneye readies up for the kickoff. As another nice kick, pinning it inside the 5, forcing the return. As this time Parnell trying to break some tackles. He was able to slip through a couple of them and got to the 25, so a nice return by Parnell.
And a good tackle by Davian Pritchard right there. He held his line and waited for him to make the move, and then he made the dive. And perfect tackling, right at both feet, just anchored him in, and that's what Fitch needs. Again, perfect plays, set up opportunities for you. Here comes that defense, and they got to be hungry to get back out here because I'm sure all week they've heard this offense can strike.
Davion Pritchard's been an interception machine in recent weeks for the Falcons as well, highlighting that secondary. as Monastero goes to the short game. Had some trouble wrangling it in, able to do so, but it looks like a potential loss of a yard on the dump-off pass for Mayfield. So that play goes backwards, and it's 2nd and 11 coming up for the Cats.
Absolutely. Christian Latone right there. Johnny on the spot, read that play the whole way, and just watched it, and it developed right there, and got to like it. Now you're putting them behind the sticks on 2nd down.
Trying to force a quick 3-and-out. Mayfield going to have to look into their playbook. Have only ran one running play on the game. Primarily sticking with the pass, trying to go back to the ground game. The Falcons shut it down right there. Don't get past the line of scrimmage, and we're looking at a 3rd and 11 now.
I'll tell you what, and this is perfect for Fitch's defense. Yes, we know Mayfield can pass, but boy, now you can just pin your ears back. You know what the D linemen are going to do. If you want to dial up a blitz, you can. But boy, if you get them on their 2nd possession to go 3-and-out, everything looking Falcon right now.
You want to talk about taking momentum, and timeout it looks like being called by Coach Parker and the Falcons. They're calling that one at 9-10. Didn't like what they saw offensively, and this is a big 3rd down, as you hinted at, Mike. I mean, this is a case where you can really swing momentum in a big way. 14 points can go up on the board in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that I noticed there, his personnel was running around. They had a wide receiver that was uncovered down here on the field near us. So we're on the visitor sideline. I'm looking at that, and T.J. Parker realized that real quick, and he sprinted down there to get that timeout.
And they got the timeout in time, avoid a potentially dangerous play from the Falcons, as we see our replay from Jamel James breaking it away for the touchdown. And he's been doing that all season, had 5 of them last week against the Raiders. Opens up with another one. First and only offensive play for Fitch in the game. Big 3rd down coming up for the Cats. Send one into motion. 3 receivers now on that right side. They fire a strike, and that was caught. Nice catch by Parnell. He was stopped up short, it looks like, right on that line. Let's see, are they going to move the chains?
Oh, wow.
He's right. They mark that spot, and they say move the chains. 1st down. Parnell able to get across the markers near the 35-yard line, and it's a big 3rd down conversion for the Wildcats.
That was a great effort on his part, because I wasn't sure he was going to get there when he first made the catch, but his 2nd effort is what keeps them on the field offensively, and the Falcons defense says, all right, we'll give you one.
1st and 10 for Mayfield. Taking that step, Monastero breaks through the pocket, fires a seed to the near sideline, but it falls incomplete. Looked like his intended target that time was Bo Lewis.
Yeah, just a little low on that one. And the nice thing is, Fitch is getting pressure with just 3 guys. They're already moving that offensive line back. And that's the one thing, playoff football, Ty, and you'll know this, whoever wins that battle in the interior usually comes away and survives the play to the next week.
Makes life a lot harder when you're winning that line game, certainly, as Mayfield 2nd down and 10, and that looks like, let's see, flag coming in. Probably a false start. Yeah, likely. That's going to back up the Wildcats 5 more on 2nd down. Going to be 2nd and 15 now.
You don't want it. Again, move the ball behind the sticks. Now it's up to Fitch. Make a play here. Put them in another uncomfortable situation. 3rd and 11, okay, close, but boy, if you can back them up here, get another loss or limit what they do, it becomes starting to see that Mayfield all of a sudden isn't moving the ball like they're used to.
Falcons defense doing a superb job early on here, allowing only 2 first downs to this point. Mayfield has yet to get past the 50. 2nd offensive drive of the game for the Cats. Wow, great elusiveness to get out of that tackle, but the Falcons ultimately tackle him down short of the markers. Trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Looks like that's at least what Monastero did. It's going to be 3rd and 15.
Great tackle by J. Allen Underwood. Took his legs out from under him, and just like that, Fitch again. Defensively, the first 2 plays of each time that they've moved the sticks, they've come out and made the play. So now, what do you do on 3rd down if you're Mayfield? Because you got to get something here. You don't want to punt this ball right back.
Monastero looking for a receiver downfield. He gets swallowed up, and it's a sack. Brian Robinson comes in as a reinforcement, but initially grabbed it. Looked like
Dylan Colello.
Yeah, Dillagalello grabs him initially. Brian Robinson comes in as a reinforcement, and they bring Monastero down for the sack. It's 4th down and very long now, and the Wildcats no doubt going to have to punt.
Absolutely, they got to punt, but give Fitch credit there. They only showed like they were going to rush 3 guys, and all of a sudden 5 come. Made a big difference because the offensive line had to do some pickups. So,
as whistles were blown, going to have a quick conversation. It looks like line judge and referee getting on the same page. Clock stopped at 7:04. It resumes. Looking to punt now. With that curveball, the lefty punter hauled in. Dan Evans the third, DE3 looking to make a move. He has a score on special teams this season near the 50, and they chase him out, but he does get on Mayfield's side of the field. Falcons going to start in Wildcat territory.
Everything is dialing up just perfect for Fitch right now, Ty. First drive, they start at their 33. The second drive, it's going to be at Mayfield's 47-yard line. And if you're Mayfield, you know who you're going to see on his first play. I would think this is all Jamel James coming right now.
And if you can maintain that ground control, maintain the clock going forward, you got to remember it's going to be important to know Fitch deferred that possession. They have a chance to go 2 for 1, but they also have a chance to go into just the second quarter with a 14-point lead if they play this game right. As Cam Smith only had to hand it off one time on the offense last time. Back to pass, Smith trying to get out of the pocket, and Mayfield does a great job of getting the sack on the Falcons QB.
That pocket just absolutely collapsed on there, and Mayfield just sent the house, and they get the job done there, and all of a sudden, if you're Fitch, now you're back at your 45-yard line. I still would have went with Jamel James there.
But
I get why he passed.
You're set up in a position, too, where you can at least hand the ball off once. You're still in good field position near the 50. Falcons would definitely like to get back on the right side of the midfield stripe with this play. 4 receiver set, firing a strike near the 50, making some nice moves. Looks like that's Jay Neely, and he gets past the initial line of scrimmage, about half the yardage needed on second.
Absolutely. It gets them back to the 47, so that's the original line of scrimmage where they started this drive. 3rd and 10, and you got to like Fitch here, a little hurry up.
Falcons now back in Mayfield territory, 3rd down. Quickly checking off with Coach Parker in the sidelines. Jamel James on the right hip of Cam Smith. Duo receiver, twins to his right, single receiver to the left. That's Dom Perry near side of the field. Cam Smith gets rushed out of the pocket, rolls right, tries to turn on the Jets, bounces off of a tackle, dives forward, but he's going to be well shy of the first, and it's going to be 4th down for Fitch.
4th and 8 here, and we know TJ likes to go for it sometimes, and right now the offensive unit has stayed on the field. Is it early or do they switch it late?
You like what you've seen in the running game. They haven't dialed up a run play yet. Talking about the Falcons, you're in Mayfield territory, and it's kind of that no man's land at that 45. Do you want to punt it? Do you want to go for it? Falcons waste no time. Coach Parker says, let's go for it on 4th down. But the whistle's blown. We'll see who's taking the timeout. Mayfield takes their first, so both teams going to be left with 2. Clock's going to stop at 4:37 now. And the Mayfield Wildcats wanted to take a look at what the Falcons brought out offensively, try to maybe scheme something up in the defensive playbook.
Well, absolutely. And the other thing there, if you're TJ Parker, were you trying to get them to flinch first? And that's what he did. He got them to use a timeout. Because now if I'm looking, it looks like they're bringing out the punting unit.
Wanted to take at least one of those timeouts away, and those timeouts can be key for Mayfield, maybe trying to look for a late game score in this first half. Going to be interesting to see what the Falcons do, because with the punter, Ruggles, you have a chance at that 45. You can coffin corner this punt and really back Mayfield up.
Yeah, let's pin them deep here. If they drive the whole field on you, so be it. But pin them deep and really put them in another situation that they really haven't been used to this season.
Anthony Ruggles emerges, like you said, Mike, ready for the punt. He's just inside the Falcon 45. Mayfield going to send one back. They were late to getting one back. Deep to receive. The bounce near the 10. And Fitch trying to grab that extra air underneath the ball to kind of coerce it inside the 10. But it's right at the 10 where Mayfield is going to start off their third offensive possession of the game.
Well, and so far the Fitch defense has answered the questions against this Mayfield offense. Mayfield's got a couple plays on each series, but after that, Fitch's defense has done the job. The defensive line has been good, called one blitz so far, and from a passing standpoint, they haven't let the receivers really burn one by them. So I'm going to guess that the DBs were well aware of what was going on this week.
Offense moved backwards in their last drive. Can't really afford to do so here. Out of the pocket, nice fire on the strike. Nearing the first down, he got it by a few on the first down strike to Parnell.
Yeah, nice pass there. He caught him right in stride, and it was good coverage, though. I mean, the DB was right there for Fitch. And tell you what, you like plays that move and games that move. No huddles tonight.
Monastero over the center, but it's incomplete. And you know what? You live with it because he hasn't turned the ball over. If you want him to pass, you have some incompletions, but he's kept it in position to where only his receivers can catch it, it seems like, tonight.
Yeah, so far that's the way it's worked out for him. You know, if it's been low, only his receiver was going to get it. He hasn't put anything in iffy situations where Fitch can make a good play, and they've had great coverage so far.
Clock to start on the snap. Moving Parnell in motion. Now two receivers near side. They go with the handoff, and again just swallowed up in the running game. And this is what's going to be difficult for the Mayfield offense to get going, that Fitch has virtually shut down that running game, Mike. And when you kind of force a team into one thing offensively, it becomes a very difficult football game to overcome.
Well, Josh Fitzgerald makes a great hit there, and then it was Xavier Don cleaning it up, and it was just like, it was a good play call, but all of a sudden it was a better play call for Fitch because it worked out perfect for that D-line.
Held to a 3rd down and 10, looking to convert are the Wildcats. Back to pass, and there's a sack. The Falcon defense comes in bunches. It looks like about 3 or 4 Fitch Falcons closed in on that line and got the tackle, backing the Wildcats up yet again. It's 4th down and long. And again, another punt going to have to come up here from Mayfield. It looked like that football spotted at the 15.
Wow. I'll tell you what, it was a whole host of Falcons, as you said, but Mr. Robinson there, nothing's going through his neighborhood right now.
He is something else. They call him B-Rob here in Austintown, and he's definitely made an impact. You look at the weight gain he's had and the muscle he put on from sophomore to junior season. It's been incredible. Multiple D1 offers, and you can see why. Short kick called in by the 50. Dan Evans, the third, has it. Looking for the edge. DE3 gets tackled by the 35, but a short field to work with on offense for Fitch.
And here's what's great about this, Ty. If you look at the way things are working, playing that little field game, slowly it's tilting in Fitch's favor. The last series, they started at Mayfield's 47. This one, they're going to start at their 36-yard line, it appears. So, little by little, everything's tilting in Fitch's favor. And this is great field position to start in.
See if they go back to the running game or come out with the pass. They have 2 receivers out. Single back in the backfield with Cam Smith out of the shotgun. They're going with that handoff. That time, Jamel James shut down. Nice play.
Yeah, their D-line made a good push on that one. They got inside, and they were able to get there. And just like that, 2nd and long for Fitch, but I'd probably keep running it.
And this is a case where you could command the clock. 2 minutes and ticking. Just over 2 1/4 left in this first quarter of play. Falcons to get the ball out of the 3rd and have a chance to add on to their score. Josiah Burney, a good field goal kicker. You're going to need to get it near the 25, so you at least need 1 first down on this drive if you're looking to add some extra points. Donovan Bell-Sullivan motions right side of the line, the tight end for the Falcons. Jamel James, nice cut by James. He has the right side of the line and goes out of bounds after getting the first.
Boy, does he just turn on an extra gear once he gets through that interior. I mean, you could see it. He made a real nice cut there. You said they needed a first down to be in field goal range. So now you're in field goal range, but I got to think the Falcons are thinking 6. They got reservations for 6, I'm feeling.
Great IQ by Jamel James. We see him as a runner. Doesn't always try to cut through the first open gap that he sees. He's very patient and waits for the right opportunity. Little pitch out to James this time, and he's just going to barrel through a couple Wildcats to get about half the yardage needed for the first.
Nice run again. He just waited, took the spot that he had, made one good move, and just full speed ahead. And it takes more than one guy to bring him down. That's what's amazing.
We're almost a quarter in. We have yet to see the Falcons' other primary back in DJ Williams, and just to have that in your back pocket as a second shot that you can always take. And the Falcons have also utilized multiple trick plays, have involved multiple guys tossing the ball as well, DJ Williams being one of them. They go screen pass out. Jamel James just turns on the afterburner, stays in bounds, falls into the end zone, his second touchdown of the game.
Wow. I'm thinking, okay, he's a decoy going out there, and they just swing it right out to him. And like I just said on the play prior, when he gets through that initial push tie, there's a different gear. And I'm like, wow.
He's got the turbo engines in those wheels, and he put it on full throttle going forward, breaking the plane, getting another 6. A baker's dozen, looking to add an extra one. Josiah Burneye, 1 for 1 from extra point territory on the night. And you can make it 2 for 2 for Josiah Burneye and a 14-0 lead for the Austintown Fitch Falcons. So with 59 seconds now left in the first quarter of play, you're in a case, if you're talking about the Mayfield Wildcats, backs against the wall, it's 14-0. What's kind of the discussions going on in this huddle, knowing that the Falcons get the ball second half? You got about 12, 13 minutes left to go in this half. You need a score.
You absolutely got to score on this one if you're Mayfield. And now it actually becomes easier for T.J. Parker's defense. You know that they're going to pass primarily. You've taken their running game out of the mix at this time. A long touchdown drive might be exactly what Mayfield needs to settle them down. But if Fitch gets another quick defensive run here, they could be going into the second quarter and very fast be up 3 scores, and all of a sudden Mayfield's going to be like, we're in trouble.
Nightmare situation for Mayfield if they go 3 and out on this stand. We're also keeping an eye on the 2 opponents of 5 and 12 in Akron St. Vincent St. Mary and Cleveland John Hay. The winner of this game will take on the winner of that game in the second round of the OHSAA playoffs.
And I'm sure Fitch would like nothing more than to be back here next week.
They absolutely would. Falcons, if they are able to hold on, pull this victory off, would be the host site of the second round, no matter who comes out of that St. Vincent St. Mary's and John Hay game. Josiah Burneye on the kickoff. Another nice kick. Spotted at the 5, forcing a return from Mayfield, trying to pin him back deep, but getting the edge, and another nice return from the Wildcats. We've said that special teams unit, they got a lot of speed. They get some good field position out to the 30.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're looking at it as things start, and it's what they need. But now, offensively, they've got to put some plays together, and they've had 1 or 2 each of the first 2 times they've had it, but all of a sudden it's just like Fitch's defense says, nah, we're just going to dictate the tempo tonight. And that's what they've done so far.
It's been that defensive line has really just been playing bully ball straight up in the trenches, looking to get another big stop. Mayfield needing a score in the worst way. Monastero breaks out of the pocket, going to use his legs, looking for a first down. He's got it near the midfield stripe and out at the 50. And if I'm not mistaken, the best field position for the Wildcats on the night offensively.
It is. That's the furthest, deepest they've driven, and they still haven't even gotten across midfield yet. They're still at their 49-yard line. Time ticking down. He did step out of bounds. So you got 44 seconds left here. If you're Mayfield, again, now you can see that he can run. But, boy, I think their fans got to be hoping for a pass soon.
Going with the run game again, breaking some tackles. Nice rush by the Wildcats. They're in Falcon territory, and that's exactly what you needed if you're Mayfield trying to get some points on the board offensively. you're going to be able to get a shorter field at the Falcon 40.
Absolutely. That's been their two best offensive plays, really, and they've been on the ground when we were expecting their passing offense to be the one that would set things up.
Mayfield can likely run one more play, but the Falcons jump. It looked like Donovan Bell-Sullivan on the encroachment offsides, so 5 yards forward for the Cats. Put that at the 19-second mark here in quarter number 1, so Mayfield can get one more play off before the end of the quarter going into quarter number 2.
Yeah, it's, one more play, and all of a sudden you come out the second quarter, you can cut that deficit in half as you're driving. But Fitch's defense, they've answered so far. Can they do it now?
Going into the run game again, and it's a first down at the Falcon 30. Clock likely to expire. They say move the chains. So the Mayfield Wildcats first down marker going to be placed right at the edge of Fitch's red zone. Final seconds ticking off the clock. Mayfield trying to get the Falcons to jump off sides, maybe get an extra 5 before the quarter end. No jumping from the Falcons this time around. We're through one quarter. It's 14-0 Fitch, but the Wildcats are driving, trying to get a big score on the board. Ty Bartell, Mike Ackelson will be back with the call of all the action in quarter 2 right after this.
We know when it comes to insurance, you have so many choices. But if you're looking for someone who lives in your community, someone who cheers for your community, and someone who works for your community like you're part of our family, well then please let us introduce ourselves. Hi, we're Heiner Insurance. How can we help?
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Clint.
Hi, this is Steve Rossetto. Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning.
Welcome back, everybody. The Falcons band having a lot to play for tonight as the Falcons offense putting up 2 scores in that first quarter. Mayfield looking for a response, getting wrapped up, though, for another sack. Falcons defense, it looked like Xavier Dawn got back to disrupt that one.
Wow. Good play by Fitch's defense, and they needed that one. But, again, their defense has answered so far. Mayfield's had a couple good plays on this series, Ty. They just got to keep stringing something together because they've got to get a score on this drive.
Mayfield now going to be backed up, second down and long, still in Falcon territory, just outside of the 30. Sending Parnell into motion on a wheel route outside, passing over the middle. Oh, it's caught after being tipped up into the air by one of the Falcons, diving forward, and it's a first down near the 15. Talk about a little bit of luck and a whole lot of skill that's involved in this sport. That's one of those plays that goes Mayfield's way.
Absolutely, and it's one of them ones if you're Fitch, you're like, oh no, but it just, their guy made a great play on that one, and that was Anthony Santoro. Set up the screen perfect for him. Didn't think he's going to get it, but his athleticism kept that play alive.
First down and 10 inside the 20. First trip to the Falcons' red zone for Mayfield's offense. Monastero looking in the pass game. Over the middle, finds the sideline. Touchdown, Wildcats. As they find Anthony Santoro, the running back gets the play call dialed up in his favor, and Mayfield cuts a possession off that lead.
That was a good drive by Mayfield. They absolutely needed that one to happen. And if you look at it, 10:48 here to go in the second quarter. They used the last 40 seconds or so of the first quarter. Now all of a sudden they're going to feel they're in the game. Now it's Fitch's turn. They punched back. Fitch got a counter.
Biega back to kick for the extra. Snap is down, the kick is up, and splitting the uprights, it's good, and it's a 7-point contest. Here in Greenwood Chevrolet Stadium in Austintown, Ohio, perfect football weather on the night. We clocked in 55 degrees game start time temp. It's about 52 now, cooled off a little bit more, but it's football weather. It's October in Ohio, late October in Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely.
But hoodie weather indeed, but still a nice crowd coming out for both these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't beat this. Perfect night here at, Austintown Fitch, and, good crowd. Can't beat it. Student section packed for Fitch. They've been loud. Now let's see how the Falcons, this is their first time really to see where their offense is going to set up shop. Great kick return here, and it's going to be business as usual.
Interesting to see how the Falcons elect to play this drive. They want one play with one run, got a score from Jamel James. Second drive, went into the passing attack, had to punt it away. We saw kind of a hybrid that third offensive drive. Curious to see what Fitch tries to go with this time.
Yeah, they've mixed it up very nice. They've dialed it up so far the way they think that they wanted it. So let's see what they do as they come out with their first possession of the second quarter.
As Biega on the kickoff, Dan Evans III hauls it in near the 5, DE3 with some great speed, trying to bounce off some tacklers, but well played in the special teams department from the Cats.
Absolutely. The Wildcats had that one perfectly covered. So Fitch, their deepest starting field position of the night, and it'll be at their 19-yard line.
As the Falcons going to have to go full 81 yards if they want to break the plane this time. Jamel James, the feature back, 2 touchdowns already on the night in the first quarter alone. He had 5 against Harding, 7 in the last 2 weeks. As Cam Smith out with Jamel James. Important to note, we still have yet to see DJ Williams. Curious to see if he'll get any time. You might also elect to rest it back a little bit if you can. Dan Evans III into motion. The handoff goes to Jamel James. Oh, he slipped through it, trying to turn on the afterburners. Can they get the tackle, getting him down near the 30? Nice tackle by Mayfield, but another breakaway run from the Falcons. Number 5, Jamel James.
Luis Vasquez with the touchdown-saving tackle, and he got him literally by his shoestrings. Wow.
What a save indeed, Mike. It takes at least a touchdown off the board, but the Falcons are in business at the Mayfield 30. 5 wide, no back in the backfield. Cam Smith looking to toss it. Oh, and it's mistimed, looking for his tight end, Bell Sullivan. And just a little miscommunication over the middle there.
I think if he doesn't slip, though, he makes the catch. And, yes, it was a little behind him, but he was wide open.
Well-designed play. Got the tight end, Donovan Bell Sullivan, involved and trying to go to the tight end some more just to really open up the versatility of this offense as we see another great Jamel James run trying to split the defense. You see Vasquez, great tackle there on the replay. Back here live as the Falcons bring Jamel James back on the right hip of Cam Smith. Bell Sullivan motions over to the left side of the line. The ball goes that way to Jamel James, trying to bounce off tacklers, but a short run that time for the Falcons, and it's 3rd down.
Still in good position for the Falcons. They literally need 5 yards, and they're in field goal range, Ty. And, boy, if you're Mayfield, you got to be guessing, what's coming at us? Are they going to throw it? Are they going to run it? Because Jamel James has had his way through the first 2 quarters.
Falcons have ripped off a bunch of big chunk yardage plays on the day. You're going to see 4 receivers spread out wide, 3 of them to the left far side of the field of Cam Smith. Handoff, no, keeper. Cam Smith looking for the right side on the edge as he gets tackled near the 25. He got about a yard past it, but it sets up 4th down and short. Now the question is,
backed it up.
Yeah, they did. It looks like they stepped on the other side of the 25, but still near that marker. Decisions here now, Mike. Do you want to go for the field goal or the yardage situation short enough? Do you trust the running back game and the running game that you've seen so far on the night?
I think TJ's going to roll the dice here because you said they had to be at the 25. That's fully at the 26. I'm going to kind of trust what that offense wants to do. They haven't really been stopped other than one drive tonight.
They bring out Smith and Jamel James. One player into motion. They take the snap, looking to pass, going deep. The pass is up, incomplete on 4th down, and it's going to be a turnover on downs back to the Mayfield Wildcats. So a big defensive stand for Mayfield, and they have a chance to tie the ball game now.
Now it's up to Fitch's defense. They've answered it 3 out of 4 drives so far against Mayfield. The pass was a little high. Double coverage. I still think, though, if you're Fitch, that was worth taking the shot there.
Do you agree with trying to get Cam Smith involved in the passing game early on in a playoff push, knowing that if you win, you're likely going to have to be versatile the deeper you get into this region?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're going to have to know, and his teammates got to know that he can be able to pass the ball when they need him to.
As Mayfield now looking for a game-tying drive. Quarterback keeper Monastero slips through a few tackles. Nice gain on the 1st down carry, getting about 4 yards on 1st.
That was a good play by the quarterback on the keeper there, because what he did, he just kind of gambled, and then he picked the hole, and good extra effort there.
As Mayfield, one of those teams that can lull you to sleep with those short yardage plays, but you got to always keep, like you said, your ears pinned back, because they can go for those big pass plays, big run plays. A lot of speed on this team, no doubt.
Fitch has got to make a play here, though. You want to swing that momentum back to your side.
Twins on both sides for the Mayfield passing game, looking for that extra step. That pass is incomplete, intended for Biega. And he's the guy that we talk about, the track star in top 10s in a lot of categories on the track and field scene. He was there for that catch, but just a little bit out of reach, and good defense on that as well.
Oh, absolutely. The coverage was right there. I mean, we got to see a speed on that. That was definitely a 40-yard pass out there, and the DB was every bit there. It was just out of his reach, though.
2nd down and about 5 yards to go on that play. It was the right call to take a shot at that time. Now 3rd down, trying to get the first, but it's mishandled, and Parnell couldn't come down with it, and that incompletion is going to bring up a 4th down, and the Mayfield punting unit's going to have to come out. So like you said, Mike, about the Fitch defense having to answer a question, they answered a big one there with a 3-and-out.
Yeah, absolutely. They got what they needed, and that wasn't a bad pass there. That again, and you stated this earlier, when they pass the ball, it only seems to be where their guys can catch it.
And not a detriment at all has Monastero been to his team. He's been putting those passes on the money. He's been doing everything he can to help his team win. This one takes an awkward bounce out at the 40, and not where you wanted to pin that if you're Mayfield. I don't know if they wanted to get more air on it. It kind of seemed like they squibbed it a little bit, but I don't think that was the intention.
It looked like a knuckleball coming out of there. It just, I don't know if he hit it weird or if he hit it on the seams of the ball, but it never really took off for him. They got a decent bounce, but if you're Fitch, you're setting up shop at your 40. They have been minus 1 drive. Their deepest field position was at their own 32.
A little bit over 8 minutes, 2.5. It's a perfect situation, too, where Fitch can burn enough clock, too. The less possessions you leave Mayfield with, the harder it becomes in the comeback trail.
Absolutely.
Looking for some more points to add on the board. Jamel James, no running room there as Mayfield. The walls were closing in on James and had nowhere to go. Great defensive game plan by the Mayfield line, and they executed well.
The Wildcats sent 7 guys in that time, guessing for run, and they got what they wanted. So, if you're Fitch, it's okay. Those are plays that aren't always going to work, but maybe the next time it does.
Fitch still looking to get the passing game going as well. Guessed run, they got it that time. Play action, rolling out to the left. Cam Smith has some open field in front of him, 1st down and more, and the Iowa State commit hurries out of bounds near the Mayfield 40. They're on the Wildcats side of the field.
Beautiful play there. He put it up like he was going to throw it, and when the guy that was covering who the intended receiver was going to be decided, I got to go with him, Smith says, see you later. I'll just take that onto your side of the field.
Good read by Smith, who was really used as a utility player in this Falcons offense prior when Deshaun Vaughn was healthy. Wow, what a tackle, and stopping Jamel James dead in his tracks. Great job, Mayfield, on the defensive side of the field.
Dominic Milano, wow. He was Johnny on the spot.
Big tackle there, and boy, he stuck him. That's like the hit stick you see in Madden. Yeah. Perfectly executed that time by Milano, and that stops the Falcons a couple yards back behind the line of scrimmage. Second down and long now.
Oh, I like it. You got your single running back, trip receivers to the left.
Looking to run the ball, delay on the handoff. Jamel James speeds through the secondary. No one in front of him. 3 touchdowns. The hat trick, Jamel James. And it's a 20-7 Fitch Falcon lead.
He's over 100 yards easy.
Easily, as the Falcons running back, Jamel James, 5 touchdowns against the Warren Harding Raiders right here on this field a week ago. Already 3 touchdowns in the first half, and there's still 6:48 to go here in quarter number 2.
Wow. I'm so impressed. I mean,
the fact that DJ Williams has yet to touch the ball tonight, and you may not have to see him touch the ball. You may try to keep him healthy for future games if you don't need to use him. Splitting the uprights once again as Josiah Burneye is true, 3 of 3 from extra point land. 21-7, the lead back up to 14 for the Fitch Falcons. And now at 6:48 for Mayfield. You know Fitch gets the ball to start the second half. You really don't want the Falcons to get a 2-for-1, but you can't let that prevent you scoring or limit your offensive game planning in any way. Tough position, too, because 6:48 is one of those times as the Falcons now, 6:48 left to go, going to be looking to add another score if they can, but they're going to need a defensive stop on the side of the Mayfield Wildcats.
So I was just told there's a reason we haven't seen the other guy. He's on the sidelines in sweats.
So
they're resting him.
Yeah, so DJ Williams. I know there was some injury concerns last week, too. He had 118 yards against the Raiders, but had a little bit of nagging injury, so they elect to rest him tonight in favor of going Jamel James. That must have been one of those late game decisions that we hear, too, because it was still up in the air on if he was going to start a couple of days ago, but ultimately electing to stay healthy. And hey, looks like they don't really need him tonight anyway. Jamel James doing just a fine job.
So far they haven't. This has been the whole Jamel James show so far. He's got 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, and those 2 runs alone put him over 100 yards. And the little swing pass, he was just dynamic.
Falcons band again getting loud and proud for this Austintown team. A 9-win team in the regular season, only lost to the Massillon Washington Tigers coming in Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. And the onside kick, and it splits through, but it goes out of bounds. Falcons can't get to it in time. And that, like a ground ball, clear through the legs. Almost a dangerous play for the Mayfield Wildcats, and that would have been disaster if it went the way of the Falcons. Mayfield going to get the ball in decent field position, though, at their own 40.
I think they got to call T.J. Parker the gambler, because that was a great gamble there, and it almost paid off. Just barely squibs out of bounds on him.
Misspeaking, too. The ball goes out of bounds on a kickoff, so it's going to be a free kick out of bounds. So this is actually going to move.
It's great field position for Mayfield, but, boy, that was almost executed. Almost.
And they've been – the Falcons have been a team that have not been afraid to try to execute those onside kick recoveries and try to get 2-for-1. They could have really realistically tried to get almost a 3 possessions in the next few minutes, too. They could have got a second one in with how quickly they've been scoring. But it's a case where if you could take some time off the clock while you move down the field for Mayfield, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, but can't let it limit or prevent your offensive playbook in any way. Coming out with twin receivers each side of Monastero with Santoro in the backfield with them. But they're still discussing, and I think they're discussing the placement of the ball right now.
Yeah, because at one point it was at the 45. Now it's back at the 40. So I think they're just trying to make sure the ball's at the right placement, as you said. And if you're Mayfield, still good field position to start from, and now you got to answer again. You got back in the game, but Fitch punched you right back in the mouth.
Got the answer of where the ball was to be placed. We're ready to go. First down and 10. Mayfield looking to pass. They get it to Parnell near a first down marker. He got about 8 yards on the toss. Nice catch, and the Wildcats have a short 2nd down and 2 to work with as Parnell gets out of bounds.
Good play, and that's what, if you want Mayfield, you want to be 2nd and short. Make it easier situational plays.
The 50-yard line was the first down marker as getting it to Parnell. Parnell found some open field, turned on the Jets, got the first down. They're at the Falcon 40.
Yeah, and he's the other home run hitter on that offense for Mayfield. And so far, he's actually had more than Biega has done in this first half. He's had a couple nice plays, but Parnell has been used a lot more.
Dan Evans III, it looks like, has been primarily tasked with covering Biega in a lot of sets, too, and doing a great job at it as well. Falcon secondary all around doing a great job as that pass goes out of bounds, and it brings up a 2nd down and 10, excuse me.
Yeah, they're trying to get something moving. They've tried a couple of these passes out there. They just haven't been able to connect on them so far. The short passing game has worked, but they need that home run hitting thing to start clicking, because if Fitch can get you to, I'm going to guess this is 4-down territory for Mayfield, down 14.
I feel like it has to be, too, and it almost feels like a field goal almost does you no good in this situation either. You need touchdown, and you need it in the worst way. At the Falcon 40, the handoff, Santoro, another nice run, breaks through the line, breaks through the secondary, a couple tackles. He went airborne like a gazelle and got stopped up at the 10.
Wow, he hit that hole, and there was nothing but daylight for him there, and he followed his blockers nice to get an extra 10 yards, and just like that, Ty, no huddle. And they get Fitch to jump.
And that's going to give him an extra 5 yards on top of it. Clock going to stop at all 5s as well. Falcons, and that's been they had some midseason struggles. They cleaned it up towards the end, but really that penalty game, they lost a lot of games in the middle of the season penalty-wise, not obviously scoreboard-wise, but that penalty game has been one of the weaknesses of the Falcons, trying to punch it in up the middle, stop just shy, but still nice gain as close to a first down. They could still get a first down inside the 5.
Yeah, absolutely, and the thing with Mayfield right now, we thought we were going to see this passing attack, but, boy, the running back is everything that they have talked about. Santoro has just done a nice job for the Wildcats.
They're going to come out with 3 receivers, 1 out wide, sending Parnell into motion. The keeper, Monastero, tries to break the plane. Did he get it? Waiting for a call. No official marks it yet. There goes the 2 hands up. It's a touchdown.
That was a late call. I was surprised he waited that long to make the call, but nice drive by Mayfield. They answer on, and they actually got to start in great field position because of the kick going out of bounds. But, boy, just like that, all of a sudden we got a track meet here in Austintown.
21-13, Mayfield back to kick the extra point. Now it becomes an interesting situation. Can Coach Parker and company get into that 4-minute offense, burn enough of the clock off of this half, get into the second half and get that 2 for 1, because that's the situation as the kick is good, 2 for 2 for Biega, 21-14 now. But that's going to be the situation for the Falcons, and that's why you defer that toss like you said. You want to try to get that 2 for 1.
Yeah.
And make this a 3-possession game.
And this is perfect if you're Fitch. If you start anywhere between the 20-30-yard line and you can chew up at least 4.5 minutes on this clock, that is the perfect way to dial it up. Go into the locker room, catch your breath, buckle up, come out in the second half, and try to take full advantage of that.
You got to figure, though, if you are Mayfield, you got to be talking and preaching defense. You can get this ball back, and you can tie this ball game up before that second half whistle.
Yeah, and that's what they're hoping for, but let's see if they got a little trickery up their sleeve. We thought maybe earlier we would see something, Ty, but so far they've played it straight.
Back ready to kick off, ready to receive it. Falcons sending a couple back deep. Dan Evans, the third, looks like they're going to go single. Kickoff returner. As the kick is up, it's hauled in by Dan Evans III, and D3 trying to carve his way through the Mayfield line, and a nice return by the Falcons receiver and cornerback as Dan Evans III on special teams side gets to the 35. Nice field position for Fitch.
Nice field position, and why? Because Evans was very patient as he brought that kick back. He waited for the hole to develop. When it opened, then he just scored it right through there. So if you're the Falcons, set up shop at your 35. Wonder if we'll see Jamel James, Ty.
As old number 5 touchdowns a week ago, 3. Today he has 8 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. As he's highlighted on the right hip of Smith. Trips also near side of the field. Left side is empty. That's where James goes. James looking for some running room. Past the 40. James still on his feet. Not brought down yet. He crosses the 50. He's in to Mayfield territory after the tackle.
What a patient run that was. It looked like they had strung it out to the sideline, and all of a sudden he broke the first tackle. And just like that, Jamel James says, come on, I'll put you on my back. Let's go.
44-yard line of Mayfield is where Fitch sets up shop. 4:47 remains on the clock. Fitch, if they could play it right, can really limit the time left for Mayfield to get another possession if they are to get one. James again, the stiff arm denies one Mayfield would-be tackler to the ground, close to another first.
That was a nasty stiff arm. He just was like, get out of my way. I've got some yardage to pick up on this play. Fitch on the move again, and I like it. No huddling, but they're taking their time trying to just whittle down this clock.
Going to need to try to burn off as much as they can. It's second down and short now for the Falcons, needing about 2 yards for the first. James now into motion. Cam Smith looks that way. Oh, what a fake, Cam Smith. The Iowa State commit. See you later. Book it for 6. It's another touchdown. The quarterback keeper, numero uno. They call him the ace.
Well, that was definitely an ace in the hole because everybody went the way James went on that play, Ty. And when he got there, he needed one block, and once he got that crease, lights out.
Cam Smith gets involved now in the running attack, gets the touchdown, his first of the game. 4 rushing touchdowns now for the Falcons.
Wow.
Josiah Burney for Fitch. Already 3 for 3 in extra point land. Looking for his 4th connection of the night. That one, again, is true by the Falcons kicker. And one of those things that you can be taken for granted when you have a good one, but when you don't have one and you have struggles in that kicking department, it's one of the most noticeable things on a team, too. You come to appreciate when you have those kickers that can make those extra points seem like they're automatic for you.
It is, and that's the thing. Like, he comes on, it's almost like tic-tac-toe, here we go, we just keep going. And I think at any given point, TJ wouldn't feel bad trotting him out there for a field goal attempt because he just goes about his business. And they've gotten pressure in there a few times, but he's just like calm, cool, collected, like, here we go, split the uprights.
How about that? Brookfield Pie Valley scored 28-0. Brookfield flexing their muscles. Salem struggling against a familiar foe, Canton South. That one 14-0 Wildcats, as you see the scores rolling over the top. Southern offense looking good, too.
Absolutely, and I think Lowville's putting on a show.
Yeah, 41 points of offense. Lowville, Vinny Ballone, they're still, even despite the 10-0 record, trying to prove a lot of people wrong and a lot of naysayers over there in Rocket territory.
I think United's having a great game against Rootstown, too. They went on the road.
That's a tough Rootstown team, too.
Yeah.
And they're hard-nosed, they're physical, but United in that 8-9 matchup trying to get the road victory.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you got to like that one.
Josiah Burney readies up the kick. Still 4:32, plenty of time for the Wildcats to try to get back within a score. Oh, nice open field tackle again to stop Parnell. And at 4:26, the Mayfield Wildcats going to be stopped, looks like just shy of the 20. And that's the second time that the Falcons have made a great open field tackle on the special teams unit on a kickoff.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like that, you're looking at Fitch. You know how we kept saying this 2-for-1, 2-for-1? You know TJ wants this defense to get a stop here. He would like nothing more than to have 35 on the board going in at break.
The Wildcats of Struthers up 20-0 as well. How about that? Cardinal Mooney 7-0 against Edison. What a close ball game that is right now.
JFK, no problem with Fairport Harding.
And they're going to be the class of that region until someone knocks them off. Up for the pass, and he come down with it. The flag gets thrown. Ooh. You're thinking PI likely getting called on this. Anytime you see it out of that back, Judge, that's usually what it is.
I'm not sure about that one. The DB was playing the ball. He almost come down with the interception.
We'll see. They could be offensive PI, too. We could see which side.
That ball was up for grabs, and that was oof. I know you can look at the Fitch coaching staff. They are not happy with that call because their guy almost picked it off. He had the inside position, Ty.
Biega was the intended target for that. They get the PI call. They get to move forward a few yards. 4:20 now on the clock here in half number 1. Trips formation. Near side of the field to the left of Monastero. Santoro on his right hip. Biega, the lone receiver, far side of the field, almost intercepted. Dan Evans III makes a beautiful cut on it, but can't come up with the INT. But he was sitting, looked like right there in that flat, Mike, and he took a perfect cut at the perfect time.
Absolutely, he did. And that's 2 passes in a row that Fitch has almost come down with a pick.
An interception at this point would be detrimental to the Mayfield offense. Can't turn it over with short field position, down 2 possessions to the Falcons. 2nd down and 10, and a sigh of relief from the Mayfield faithful. Into motion, Parnell. To the other side, they're going to have their 2 speed wideouts on that far side of the field, but it doesn't matter. Go to the run game, and it gets shut down up the middle as Santoro goes backwards on the play. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, absolutely. He had nowhere to go on that play. Nice play there by Brian Robinson. And Fitch says, let's take a timeout.
2nd timeout of the half for the Falcons, leaving them with 1. The other side, the Wildcats, have 2. As Coach Parker and crew want to talk things over, we'll take a quick break as well. Thank our sponsors here on ysnlive.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back in, everybody. As we are here, 3rd down coming up, looking to pass, dialing it up. It's up deep, and it's knocked loose. No flags on this play, and it's 4th down coming up for Mayfield. Great defensive play in the secondary by Fitch.
Oh, it was. And all 3 passes on that series, Fitch's defenders have had the inside position. Boy, if you're Mayfield, you really don't want to give this ball back just under 4 minutes to go.
This enables Fitch to do exactly what they wanted to do by deferring that. But now the risk-reward benefactor is you can get up by as much as 4 possessions here out of the half.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not going to blink yet, Ty, but there's still a lot of time in this first half.
There still is, too. And we've seen how quickly both these teams can score. And we could still see a couple more scores before the end of it. Another nice punt on that line drive by Biaga. Dan Evans III looking for the edge. Dan Evans III gets past midfield and really does a great job of just keeping those plays alive, special teams. But looks like one of the Falcons coming up a little slow on the injury. So near that 50, they're going to check it out. I'm not sure what the number was that went down, but Falcons sideline going over to the 50 to check on him. As they get that injury update, we'll get a name and an update as well. Be back right after this on ysnlive.com.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Well, good news is the injury, not too serious. It was to Xavier Dawn, but walking off the field under his own power. And to all of our student athletes, never want to see any serious injuries.
Don't want to see anybody go down, Ty. You want to just get through the game clean. But, boy, Fitch, great starting position again.
Faking the handoff, Cam Smith getting chased out. Oh, he avoided the tackle, looking for the edge, looking to get some yardage, and he barrels into a couple of Wildcats near the 40. And a heck of a job from Smith to turn something out of nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. He comes +2 on that run when it looked like they could have had him for a 15-yard loss back there.
So the Falcons move forward on the play. It's going to be second down and about 8 to go. Still on Mayfield's side of the field. Struthers extending their lead 34-0 over Edgewood, and the Wildcats mean business right now this season. Talking about the Struthers Wildcats, Mayfield Wildcats in this one. Offense has looked potent at times, but haven't had really any answers on the opposite side for the Falcons offense as Cam Smith just carries a couple of Wildcats with him near the first.
Sets up third and short for them, and, you know, as much attention as they have to pay to Jamel James right now, Cam Smith saying, hello, I'm right here for you.
Adding another weapon to this offense, and really Coach Parker talked about it too. We talked about this with him before the game and before this week about Cam Smith's mentality going into this and getting ready to step into this quarterback role after the injury, and he said he stepped into it flawlessly. He didn't take it as any kind of detriment. He wasn't scared to step into that role. He stepped into that role. He was confident in what he can do. He's confident in the teammates around him. And I think you've got to, first of all, credit Coach Parker for what he's done, but credit the team for having this trust and building each other up and saying, you know what, we'll get you there. We'll get you there.
And you got to like Fitch here. You got a 3rd and almost 4. It's about 3.5. Let's take our second time out. Let's come up with a play because 2 things works here. Move the sticks, the clock keeps moving in your favor. And you're on their side of the field. I'm going to guess if they don't get it, they're going for it. He's going to roll the dice.
You got to figure, too, you're up by 2 possessions, too. Why not at this point in the game? And you still give them a decent field they have to work from. They're still on their side of the 52, and you roll the dice on your defense. Coach Parker's betted on his defense plenty of times this season, and it's paid off for him. As really bunching things up, only 2 receivers, 1 each way. Falcons look like they have extra blockers back for James, looking for a gap. James, he finds one and burst forward for a first.
They actually had him bottled up in the backfield. It could have been a 2-yard loss. And all of a sudden their defenders thought Cam Smith had it. 2 of the defenders broke away from him. And it's like, here's Falcons let's move the sticks on a nicely deceived play.
Great fake out by Cam Smith, too, executing it. Like we said, stepping into this quarterback role, but doing a fine job at it as well. Leading his team down the field. One of the senior leaders, well respected on this team and in this community. Old number 1, Smith. Smith rolling out to his right. Wide open receiver downfield into the breadbasket. Jay Neely, did he come down with it? It is a completion at the 3. As what a catch, Jay Neely.
Wow. He was open. He was a good 2-3 strides behind his defender. Pass was there. Comes back, gets it, and just like that, Fitch knocking on the door again.
Don't have to rush to make any plays here. You got just a few ticks over, 2 minutes to go if you're the Falcons. Likely keeping it on the ground. If you get stopped up short, it's not the worst thing in the world, but when you got old number 5, you don't have to worry about that. 4 first-half touchdowns as he tied the record a week ago, Mike. He might be gunning for the record this week.
Yeah, he is not messing around. Jamel James has just been absolutely fantastic. Wow.
4 rushing touchdowns, and that's just grown man strength once again. A 20-point advantage for Fitch. And looking to add another one, Josiah Burneye, 4 for 4 from extra point territory on the night, getting another try. But now if you're Mayfield, you need a touchdown. And you're going to come out, you're going to see Mayfield's best 2-minute offense probably. And the Falcons defensively going to have to be ready for it. We'll see what Mayfield does. Likely a lot of no huddles too. Only left with 1 timeout too, talking about the Wildcats. And that one is good as well for Josiah Burneye and the Falcons. 5 for 5 from extra point territory and a 35-14 advantage for the Austintown Fitch Falcons. 2 minutes to go here in half number 1. As a flag does come down on the field, and I believe they called it against the Falcons. Here we go. Holding. So they're going to elect to take it on the kickoff. The Wildcats are. The holding call on the Falcons. So this is going to bump the Wildcats up wherever they stand and only going to help them in the long run.
What do you think? Kick it deep? I would kick it deep here. Put as much leg into as you can. Get great coverage.
Because worst case scenario, right, they say absolute nightmare scenario, they return it for a touchdown. You still got a 2-possession lead. You still got under 2 minutes, and for Fitch, we've seen they could score it quickly. You could still have that 2-for-1 opportunity open.
Number 5 would be looking for number 5 in the first half.
That would be wild if he can. And you know they're going to try to feed it to him. Why not? I mean,
it's
9 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks for this young man. I mean, really putting on a show for this Austintown community.
He is, and the wild card or the ace in the hole is Cam Smith, because if all of a sudden you pay so much attention to Jamel, here's Smith going, hey, I'm over here, and by the way, I got the ball going 40 yards. It's just worked perfect, and they haven't even really had to dive into the passing game that much. Their lone touchdown on a pass tonight is a little swing pass.
And Cam Smith's one of those guys, too, likely going to be strong safety for Iowa State at some point in his future. He's committed to go there next level. And, I mean, you see the type of strength he brings, but he's got that blend of speed and strength similar to what we've seen from Deshaun Vaughn, where he could kick it into a next gear when he breaks a tackle, but the thing is he could break that tackle initially as well.
Oh, yeah.
The kick goes to the 20. Mayfield looking to get themselves set up with great field position. Oh, what a cut. Open field ahead. Tripped up, still on his feet. Pritchard gets a hold on him near the 30, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Wildcats.
Wow, the penalty actually hurts the Falcons in that instance because the kick isn't deep, and their return guy's able to just play it right, catches a little seam, and just like that, Mayfield back in position. They're trying to throw some punches back at Fitch, but they've got to answer here over the next minute 49 because that Falcons offense, we already know they get the ball first to start the second half.
Credit the determination of this Mayfield team. I mean, no give up in them at all. Going back to that ground game, and big thing there, I think, with that play, at least running at once, you got to figure it's a clock play. It's trying to burn some time off that clock.
Yeah, you don't want to leave Fitch's offense any time because it doesn't take long for them to strike, and they're doing it by the ground. And I don't know if Mayfield wants to see them go to the air because they make the one big pass, and all of a sudden they were sitting in perfect position.
Mayfield's got to be playing right now, touchdown or nothing, touchdown or halftime break. Oh, it's bobbled and jumped on.
Oh, boy.
Did they recover it?
Fitch got it.
Oh, what a key turnover by the Wildcats, and I'm not sure who jumped on.
Number 20 or 30?
I think it might have been Xavier Dawn. As Devin Phillips, I believe, is the one they say over the PA here, recovering the fumble, and disastrous for Mayfield. Now with 1:14, you can almost book this game if the Falcons can get a perfectly executed 2-for-1 now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, field position-wise, you're starting at your 35. Everything has dialed up perfectly for Fitch's game plan so far.
And that's been the one thing Mayfield has done really well is offensively not turn the ball over. It's one turnover there, going right for the strike. Oh, in stride to the house. Touchdown, Dominic Perry. What a catch. And it's a 41-14 lead.
Holy cow. You couldn't ask for anything better. 65-yard touchdown pass. I think Fitch is going to get flagged for excessive celebration, but all I saw was the kid running. I'm not sure I would flag him for that, but they threw the flag late. The TD's definitely going to count.
41-14. We're going to get our call from our referee, John Patton. So much enthusiasm in Mr. Patton's voice with that one. Hates to have to call it.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to call that one because I'm not sure it was really there, but okay, we'll give it to you, but it didn't work the last time. And, boy, that turnover, costly.
One play.
Yeah. That's twice tonight the offensive struck on their first play.
And you see two big passes and back-to-back drives, and if anyone's questioning the arm of Cam Smith and if he's got it in that department, huge plays. And Dominic Perry has been a touchdown machine in the second half of the season, grabbing almost a touchdown a game. He's a hot target there for a big strike.
Well, and he was saying, hey, I'd like to get in on this tonight.
As the Falcons extend their lead, another good kick by Josiah Burney, and that's 6 for 6 in extra point land for that young man. 42-14, Fitch in front, minute 4 left on the clock. And after getting a gut punch like that, if you're on the Mayfield sideline side of things, what are you saying with this final minute 4? Are you running much offensively? Are you taking those shots?
I think you got to take a shot because I'm not saying, you're down 28. You're almost to a running clock because if Fitch gets that first touchdown,
it becomes a lot harder than running clock.
It becomes a lot harder. You almost got to throw. You got to throw some type of haymaker here. If you've got a trick play, a hook and ladder, a double reverse or something, Mayfield's got to pull it out right now because their season is really starting. I'm not going to say the fat lady's completely singing yet, but she's getting warmed up over there somewhere in Austintown.
The Falcons, too, the one thing that they've been doing really well is executing on those mistakes by Mayfield. And that's one advantage you're seeing on one side of the field as opposed to the other is Fitch. You see that turnover, one play, register it up for 6, too. And
yeah.
When turnovers turn to 6 points, that's how good teams become great teams and get themselves on deep playoff runs.
Well, and not only that, Cam Smith, that ball was perfect. And the only mistake of the game was that turnover, and it turned into 7 points for the Falcons real quick.
Falcons going to be kicking from the 25-yard line, their own, and they're going to just squib it this time, try to avoid a big return, hope to get the tackle, and they will, near the 50, put it a tick above the minute mark, and that's what's left here in half number 1.
And here's the thing now, Ty. Mayfield actually has to try to make something here because they're at their 48-yard line. So from a field position standpoint, it's not real deep. But, boy, if you throw one in the flat and it somehow gets tipped and picked, Oh, boy.
You're in dangerous territory. With one timeout left, though, Mayfield can afford to get a good strike, try to get themselves near that 40, 30-yard line, and maybe set themselves up for Hail Mary if worse comes to worse. You definitely want to get at least one first down here if you're Mayfield. As Monastero has shown, he's got the arm to throw a cannon shot to the end zone. They're going to try to get it short this time. Almost came back for a nice catch that time, but it's incomplete.
Just a hair behind him. And that's been the most parts with Mayfield's passing game tonight. They've just been off a little. And you think about it. They got the speedy receiver. Parnell's made plays. But they're just, on some of the other plays, just a hair off. And it's making a big difference. But maybe the reason they're a hair off is because of the way Fitch is playing them.
56 seconds remain here in half number 1. Mayfield with a 2nd down and 10 to go. Sending one into motion. Going to that ground game up the middle. Nice run. And still on his feet, still going after the initial tackle. But they mark him down near the 45-yard line of the Falcons, and it's 3rd and short. But the big thing is the clock is now running at 3rd down. Still have a timeout, the Wildcats do. They're going back to the ground. They get that first down like we talked about. Now, clock going to stop for the chains to move, but it also looks like a timeout being taken by Mayfield.
No, I think they're just going to let the sticks move.
So the clock stops for the time being for the chains to move. It's back to a running clock. Mayfield looking for a score, throwing the pass, looking to get out of bounds, and that's a nice executed passing catch. That does stop the clock at 17. So you're at the 30, definitely Hail Mary range, and if you're Mayfield with a timeout left, you can go short pass here, but you could also take a couple shots deep for that end zone if you want.
You got 3 plays basically here over the last 17 seconds, depending how quick you go. If it's a long play, you probably got 2 left in this half. But if you're Mayfield, you got to come up with something here if you have any hopes.
Monastero out of the shotgun, looking for 6. They go back to the ground game, up the middle and to the 20. And Mayfield now going to elect to take the timeout. They're going to do it with 12 seconds on the clock.
Well, I don't think they are, Ty. They're gonna spike it here real quick. And the sticks weren't even set yet.
They weren't. I was seeing the one referee waving. I think he was trying to stay in the one ear of Coach Bandera, but Bandera not calling the timeout. You're right. They went for the spike, 9 seconds, and that's got to be, they want to get one play off, but they also want to have that timeout in case they get tackled. They have a chance for a field goal at the very least.
He can pass over the middle.
As the tackle gets stopped short at the 20. It's 3rd down, 3 seconds to go.
Good job by the Fitch defensive line there. They just collapsed the pocket, and you got the usual 3 guys just hanging out there going, we'll make a tackle here. And so you know what it is for Mayfield. This one's going to the end zone. Has to.
Mayfield actually ran a decent amount of plays for 61 seconds on the clock, and they executed the short clock really well, but it felt like they had to do all kinds of work just to try to leave the Falcons with nothing left in the half. But this is a perfect situation. Like you said, Mike, you're 20 yards out for a strike. A lot of options you can go here if you're Monastero and the Wildcats.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is it's got to get to the end zone. If you throw it short, look for some type of trick play here because that Fitch defense is so fast to the ball. They're going to need something that just kind of like they're coming one way and somebody all of a sudden is going the other way. I think you just got to tuck it to the end zone and hope for something here. If you're Fitch, though, if you're a defender, you want a pick here. Nothing would be better than a pick 6 to end the first half.
If you can get a pick, those eyes are going to light up for the opposite end zone. Falcons sending 2 safeties back deep. Monastero gets rushed out. Hauls it to the end zone, but it is incomplete and just hauled it out of bounds, making the smart play and just taking it to the halftime break. Big lead for the Falcons. 4 touchdowns in the first half for Jamel James as he closes in on a single-game record for the Austintown Fitch Falcons. He tied it at 5 last week. He's 1 away going into the second half.
I'm not sure how much we'll see of him, and he might get 1 series. He might get a chance to tie it. maybe with the proper begging, maybe he gets back in. But I got to think TJ's already not turning his eyes. He's going to go in there and say, let's come out, let's get focused, let's get this to a running clock. Let's get this game over as quick as we can, stay as healthy as we can. Let's get to week 2 knowing that we're going to come right back here and play in front of our fans again.
As we like to do each and every week, folks, we like to leave these performances on for the halftime performances of both high school bands, because on Friday Night Lights, just as the football teams are so entertaining, these high school bands do a lot to entertain us too on Friday Night Lights. So we want to give you the opportunity to enjoy both the Mayfield Wildcats and the Austintown Fitch Falcons marching band here in this Week 11 playoff edition.
Absolutely. It's a great time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present the 2022 Pride of Mayfield. We open tonight's show with a song that could never make us sick. Released in 2003, peaking at number 9 on Billboard's Top 100. Get ready for Britney Spears' Toxic.
Even though it don't show on it, when you go to the actual recording, you can't tell.
But I have to just...
Conspiracy of lemurs. Our next piece features a 14-minute music video containing exactly one of the aforementioned groups of living or not-so-living things. Break out your best Walking Dead impression as our auxiliary perform their own rendition of the dance to Michael Jackson's Thriller. conducted by Field Commanders Esmer Hatton and Connor Lebat. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's halftime performance. We proudly present to you the 2022-2023 Austintown Fitch Marching Band. The band is led onto the field by drumline captain Ian Teeters, color guard captain Anastasia Walker, color guard co-captain Madison Snyder, senior drum major Madison Sheffield, and junior drum major Jared Givino. This evening's performance is a hybrid of our Bruno show and senior show as selected by our band members. The marching drill was storyboarded by our senior drum major. The band now steps off to a jazz standard, Camellia, by Herbie Hancock. The band will now perform composer Lin-Manuel Miranda's We Don't Talk About Bruno from Disney's Encanto. It will feature soloists Luke Wharton, Madison Sheffield, and Jared Givino.
send me that goddamn Joe Chow. I couldn't figure out how I could have that. Pick that up from Joe Chow. He's better than fucking HSA.
And now, the Austintown tradition continues with the color guard presentation of the American flag as the band concludes with our national march, The Stars and Stripes Forever. The Austintown Fitch Band would like to thank everyone for their continued support, and we wish the best of luck to Coach Parker and our Fitch Falcon football team in the second half. Go Falcons!
News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers. From sales to financing and even service, we'll help build your perfect vehicle.
And lock in your trade value
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries.
We guarantee financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Flynn.
Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller. Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience, WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at MyersFamilyINS.com or find us on Facebook.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall, Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our family's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
But now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
His name is Mike Ackelson, and he joins me in the booth tonight for this one between the Mayfield Wildcats and the Austintown Fitch Falcons. And going for the onside kick, Fitch recovers near the 50, and that's where the Falcons going to start off offensively. And it gives us a perfect opportunity to kind of talk about that first half a little bit, Mike. And what are some things you saw both sides of the field from the Falcons and the Wildcats that you're looking forward to in the second half?
First and foremost, Jamel James. We're not going to see him very long, I feel, in the second half, but 4 touchdowns. He's got to be close to 200 yards rushing. He was great. Cam Smith, whether he did it with his legs or the arm, he was dynamite. Dominic Perry stood out. The defensive line for Fitch stood out. Mayfield made a few splash plays, but not enough to counter what Fitch's stars have done tonight.
Falcons, if they can get another touchdown, will have a running clock. Jamel James trying to get number 5. He's on his feet. He's got it. 10 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. 5 in the last 2 as well. What a score. You called it, Mike. You said you wanted to see it. He delivers.
Oh, boy, does he deliver. He must know I'm a fan. Holy cow. That was crazy. I mean, it almost looks like the first play they ran from scrimmage in the first quarter. Like, it just broke for him. He had one guy to get a shot at him, but you're not going to make a sweeping arm tackle on this kid in the open field. And just like that, 5 touchdowns, definitely over 200 yards now.
Another 50-yard-plus run by old number 5 as he's got 5 touchdowns for the second consecutive week. Unbelievable play by Jamel James as he ties the record for the second consecutive week. And what do you know it, the more things stay the same on the kicking team as Josiah Burneye splits the uprights for his 7th time on the night.
Wow. I'm kind of speechless right now. In the first half, Jamel James, 214. So right now,
plus
tack
another
50 on that. He's at 264. 5 touchdowns.
So he's got 10 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, 5 each week, as another touchdown will get him the school record. We'll see if he even is in for another series. Likely not, but 250-plus yards. First round of the playoffs. They say your big stars shine the brightest, Mike, and old number 5 shining real bright here.
Number 5's leaving no doubt, and, since this is the weekend of Halloween, this has been nothing but a trick for Mayfield because this has been anything but a treat unless you're a Austintown fan.
All those old school horror movies and the Universal movie monsters. I don't know if any of them as scary as Mr. Jamel James against this Wildcat defensive line and secondary. He's been haunting them all night. He had 4 touchdowns in half number 1. First play offensively from Fitch out of the second half to the house. Another 6.
Wow.
And running clock territory now. How this works, I believe it's anything over 30. The only ways to stop the clock, injuries, timeouts, and getting it, of course, under that 30-point margin.
Yeah. And this is crazy. I mean, we knew we were going to see him on the first series. The question is, does TJ let him have another shot to break the school record?
I mean, he only had to run 1 play there. It's a risk-reward factor, but he has definitely been going strong all night. It could be a case, too. I mean, we'll see how they decide to do it, and it does kick out of bounds. That takes an unfortunate bounce for the Falcons near the 1. So the kick out of bounds is going to give the Mayfield Wildcats a few extra yards. But I'd be interested to see if maybe you don't put Jamel James in for all the plays on the drive. Maybe you bring in that 3rd or 4th back, get close to that red zone, and then you might send him for it. But
I'll set it up for you. Somebody's going to do all the dirty work. He's going to get the glory.
He's done plenty of dirty work today. But no, we see what Jamel James has done offensively, and, I mean, he's tuned in. He's tuned in with that offensive line. He's been showing patience, great IQ out of that offensive backfield. When that ball touches his hands, man, head on a swivel, and he's always looking for that open gap.
And he's just so patient, and then when that gap opens, he's gone.
And he has that ability. We see a few players have that unique ability, like you said, kicking it into a higher gear. I call it turning on his afterburners, and just finds another echelon of speed that he's able to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to guess if you're Mayfield, you're going to run no huddle, but you're going to extend the play clock as long as you can right now because your only hope is to keep that offense on the sideline because they've had no answer for it tonight.
And Mayfield getting everything they can handle and more from this Falcons offense, trying to go back to the running game. They were able to break through for some solid runs, and another nice gain here gets them close to a first.
No, not bad there. He just followed his blockers, got a nice little push up front from the offensive line, but they just haven't had enough of that tonight. Fitch has usually come up with an answer. This might be the first time I could honestly look at you and go, wow, 3rd and short for Mayfield.
Yeah, and for the Wildcats right now, it's feel like offensively they've been throwing body punches while Fitch has been throwing knockout punches, but it's a nice run here as trying to get some extra yardage on it. Parnell gets to the Falcon 40.
He's probably been, him and their running back, Santoro, have been their best players so far. And I was actually thinking that their quarterback would do a little more, Monastero, but they've kept him in check. And it's been great defensive plays. It's not that he has thrown bad passes, but they have just kept him in the check so far.
Bottled him up as much as you can without getting turnovers against him. And the lone turnover they did get on that fumble, they were able to register 6 points on it, like great teams are able to do. If you want to make those long runs, you want to get yourself to Tom Benson, you got to be able to capitalize on those turnovers when they happen.
Absolutely, and if you think about it, their first 2 plays of each half have been touchdowns. The play after the only turnover in the game has been a touchdown. 3 times Fitch has struck very quickly, just lightning strikes for him.
That's 3 one-play scores on offense that have resulted in 18 points. You add on the extra 21 for the Falcons, and you check off all those little things. You got that kicker position checked off. Falcons healthy again. Defensive line, Robinson has been a key addition too. You see how much better that that defensive line moves when 23 is a part of it on the edge.
Yeah, they're moving, and right now, Fitch is kind of like, okay, go ahead and drive on us. Just keep churning and eating that clock. You're already sitting under 8 minutes here in the 3rd quarter.
And these were 2 teams. Nice tackle near out of bounds by Pritchard. But
Except he celebrated right over him.
Yeah, and that's going to give him the extracurriculars after the tackle is what those officials looking for. No doubt on sportsmanlike conduct. Going to be dialed up on this one for Pritchard and crew. But this is a case, too, like you said, take as much time as you need to score if you're Mayfield, if you're the Falcons in this situation. You're saying you want to take about 6 minutes off the clock. This is a team where we saw about 3 possessions each team before 6 minutes burned off the first quarter.
Yeah,
so.
And it's crazy. And, here's the thing. You get a great play there. If you walk away from them and do your little celebration, they probably don't do it. He just happened to be standing right over him when he kind of flexed.
It's the hand in the cookie jar, right? When Mom comes out of the room catching him.
Well, they brought him off the field, and TJ went right to him like, no, don't do that.
As we are a few ticks over, 7 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter, Mayfield in Falcon territory looking to add their first score of the game, looking in the passing department, but it's incomplete.
He had his guy. He just underthrew him on that one, and that was his speedy receiver. You can say it.
Biega.
There we go, Biega. He had him. He made a nice turn. The ball was just a little low. So, and the tough thing, normally if you're in a game, the clock stops there, but now it just keeps ticking. And if you're Fitch, you're over there like, all right, yeah, keep moving.
The big thing is if the Falcons can hold the Wildcats off of the scoreboard touchdown-wise, it pretty much spells doom for Mayfield then, because then you don't stop the clock and you give the ball back to the Falcons offensive unit, who can pretty much eat away upwards 5-6 minutes on a drive themselves.
Well, they can, but so far they haven't chosen to tonight. They have been quick strikes, and even on some of them, 3-4 plays. They had one nice long drive, and that was right after Mayfield cut it to a 14-7 game. And that was kind of a statement drive for Fitch at that point. They just kind of said, okay, we saw what you got. We're going to up you here.
I got to feel that Mayfield doesn't even have field goal on their mind. It's 2 plays for a touchdown or a first down here. Oh, getting the edge, and that's going to be enough for a first, very close to the score, but it's definitely going to be first and goal with a very, very short field to work with.
Nice play there, and it was the running back out of the backfield again, Santoro. He's made some nice grabs.
They've tried to utilize him. I've seen him running some wheel routes out of that backfield when they send him into motion, too, really trying to utilize him as an extra option. And it's a team that we said only had, I believe, 2-3 wins a year ago, talking about this Mayfield team. Back in the playoffs, they used to be a perennial playoff team. It's one of those cases. You're trying to build this team back up.
And Mayfield answers. They get a touchdown here. He barely got over. I think he's down right now.
It's a touchdown that is big for the Wildcats because it stops the clock at the very least, and running clock rules go out of play. Clock would have stopped anyway because of the injury, but now that it's under a 30-point deficit at 29, the Mayfield Wildcats will have normal running clock rules here. And just a new rule, actually, this year by the OHSAA implementing it.
Yeah, it used to be once it clicked, it stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, that's tough. I mean, he scores on that play. He just, as he tried to reach it over, he got slammed back. And, for Mayfield, I'll give you this. They haven't quit. A lot of teams looking at that scoreboard come out heads down. They came out here, and they're going to try and at least make this a game the rest of the way. But if you're Fitch, I'm going to guess we might see one more series for number 5.
And that's what I think everyone in the Austintown community is hoping for, is old Jamel James has a chance to break the record he tied a week ago. And it almost feels like fate would have it that it wants Jamel James, old number 5, to have this record, because how often do you see Week 10 going into playoffs, back-to-back weeks, 5 touchdowns? It's great stat line from this young man.
Well, and I think if anybody had told you that, before tonight's game, hey, he'll score 5 more again, you'd have been like, come on.
You would think that a team would have him dialed in, you have a game plan ready for him, but even when you have the tools or the blueprint necessary to try to stop him, executing is a whole nother story. And Mayfield hasn't been able to bring down Jamel James. That hooks left, and it's a missed extra point attempt for the Wildcats. So 2 for 3 on the night in that department, and it's 49-20. And to Mayfield's credit, you talked about it, Mike, a lot of fight being shown, and it's a lot of credit going to Coach Bandera. And really, that attitude to his kids, we might be down, but they're not going to have a running clock on us. They're not just going to stomp us out. We're going to be competitive in this one.
We're going to fight all the way that we can, and I think that shows you something, that this team's not a quitter, and, they've lost. You can look at their record this year and the teams that got them. Nordonia, Chardon, Painesville Riverside, by the way, who's easily winning their playoff game, and some team called Kenston, perennial playoff team. As you look at that, and now you can add Fitch into the mix right now. It's going to be interesting here. They tried that little squib kick on the opening thing, set Fitch up perfect. Do they dare do it again, or do you kick it deep and try to see if your defense can muster up anything?
It's interesting to see, and I'm curious to see if they do try it and try to be aggressive. I mean, I love the attitude by the team, and I love the attitude coming out by Coach for this Wildcats team, not giving in, going to fight to the last second, and well-taught team here in Mayfield as they get ready for the kickoff. And, it looks like they are going to try to onside kick it. It gets by. They have a chance. Mayfield jumps on it.
Oh, no, they didn't get it. It went out of bounds. It went out of bounds before they had possession.
We talk about fate, Mike, and that's just an unfortunate break for the Wildcats if that goes the other way.
Wow. They dialed that one in. I mean, Fitch almost had one. Mayfield almost had one.
That's unfortunate because it was a golden opportunity for the Wildcats. It was a missed grab by Fitch, and it was right there on the football field, just had to jump on it, and unfortunately takes the wide turn out of bounds, and Fitch gets possession. But that was what you really needed for momentum, Mayfield. Now they're going to need to try to stop the Falcons offense. That looks like it's being highlighted by old number 5 again. So
this might be his last shot.
Last shot trying to get the Falcon record. They give it to him. He finds a hole. Jamel James has a first down as he gets tackled down near the 40. gunning for now. Mike, he's approaching 300 yards. If he can get this, he's already over 250. Jamel James might get the 2-for-1. He might get the touchdown and the single game yard record.
Where did that drive start at?
It was starting, I believe it was behind the 50. It had to have been. It was near the 46, I believe.
Okay, so
46, 47.
That's 14.
54. He was
16
over 250.
more yards.
301 is the record. So Jamel James, opportunity. If he has the ball the whole way as he gets another nice gain, he has an opportunity to have the single greatest rushing performance as an Austintown Fitch Falcon wearing this uniform ever in Falcon history.
Unofficially, I got it at 276 right now.
Unbelievable, as James closing in on being only the second rusher in Falcon history to eclipse the 300-yard rushing mark. The only other one, his partner in crime, DJ Williams, a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Cam Smith goes for the pass this time. They're going to try to dial it in deep, and the target just about a yard of a misconnection, but almost. He had him beat, too.
Maybe the heftiest guy out there is Jamel James right now.
As Jamel James trying to get all the yards he can. 3rd down and 5. And a chance for history here in round 1.
If he gets a 34-yard touchdown, he'll be at 310 and 6 scores.
That's both records right there. If he gets another score from where he's at, he needs to get over 301 to get the record. He gets the handoff, trying to get the edge. Oh, the stiff arm. He's still up. He got the 1st down, and he'll get an opportunity to continue the drive. He's near the 20. And I think they're marking him just at the 20. We'll see if that's
at the 20, and that came from the 34, so that's 14 more.
290, right?
290.
Oh, man. 11 yards away from tying the record, 12 away from breaking it unofficially. But we do know if he does break the plane, 6 touchdowns, that is the all-time record.
That one we can definitely give.
But he is very close, and we will say unofficially, but we definitely presume that he is on his way to breaking 2 records if he can. They try to go up the middle. Small gain on that one. Mayfield had that red.
I'll give him a half a yard. So he needs 10.5 yards to tie the school record.
Another fantastic performance by a Falcon running back, and it comes in the form of old number 5, Jamel James. 5 touchdowns again on the night. He's at 290 yards rushing unofficially, closing in on both the single-game rushing yard and rushing touchdown record for the Austintown Fitch Falcons. The ball goes to number 5, and he gets tripped up short of the first, needing about 5 on the carry. Is it a case where you're giving this ball to him twice for a first?
Yeah, this is 2-down territory because if you're Austintown, you want to get back to the running clock again. Because if you look at it, you're already down under 3 minutes to go here. It's been a fast-moving 3rd quarter because the first 6 minutes was all running clock.
James getting some more yards, closing in on some records. Can he do it? 3rd down and medium coming up for Fitch. Cam Smith trying to get the fake out at the line, quickly checking off with his coordinators, relaying it to his line. 3 receivers to the right. Empty on the left side of the line. Whistles are being blown and a timeout being called. And Coach Parker might want to dial up one of the best running plays for his back, Jamel James. And that clock stops at 2:23, so we'll get that clock adjusted for you on the screen. But 2:23 to go here in quarter 3. And we may potentially be seeing some history here in Austintown Fitch and Greenwood Chevrolet Stadium, Mike. And a lot of history we've actually seen from this exact position, running back position.
You've been blessed this year because you've been spoiled what Austintown Fitch has been able to provide you. And it makes it fun to call the games. But you look back at the years of the Fitch football program, there's been some great running backs. And to think that within just a couple weeks of each other, all of a sudden you could have 2 guys on the same team go over 300 yards. That's incredible.
Antoine Harris was a big name just a few years ago for the Falcons. He was the record that DJ Williams broke a few weeks back. Falcon faithful know him from the 2013 season when the Falcons went 10-0 with the likes of teams like Massillon, Washington on the schedule. The pass for Dan Evans III, and it's incomplete on third down, bringing up fourth. So the question becomes on fourth down, who gets the rock?
Yeah, and it was kind of funny on that play. I watched as Jamel kind of sprinted out. Don Milano was the spy. He was with number 5 the whole way coming out of there.
They definitely,
and that's what opened the middle.
They definitely do not want this record to be on their heads. Mayfield knows what's going on, knows the rumblings, and they also just want to get themselves in position to try to get this ball back. And they could get a turnover on downs, which would also hold the Falcons off the scoreboard, give them a chance to close this deficit some more. But Fitch, not even questioning it, takes a second timeout. Curious to see what they're going to come out with.
Yeah.
Game plan wise, because like you said, Mike, if the goal is to just get into running clock territory, a field goal will get you there. It'll get you over the 30-point mark. That's another close one. We're looking at the scores that are going up. Beaver Local taking the lead on Coventry. It's close. Salem closing that gap on Canton South. It's 28-21, Canton South.
Got a final. Warren JFK beat Fairport Harding 37-9.
So we have one member of that date that we're looking forward to in the second round with JFK. We just got to wait for that other chip to fall with Springfield, but that's going to be a great matchup in Division 7.
Absolutely. And just a shout out to our crews here at YSN tonight. We are all over the place. We got postseason coverage like you wouldn't believe, and that ticker adds to everything. The scoreboard, it's up. You can't beat it. And let's see what Fitch dials up here on this fourth down play.
As Fitch, offense back out, ready to go. Jamel James on the right hip of Smith. The keeper from Cam Smith. Cam Smith goes to James. Jamel James gets it, and he gets pushed out of bounds. So the yard record might be out of the playbook.
Might be safe.
They might be safe, and DJ Williams, his partner in crime, might be getting the sigh of relief. Maybe it was a little agreement. He was like, you can't take my record.
You can't have both.
You can't have both.
You can't have both.
But you got to figure 5 is probably getting a couple touches to try to get this record now.
Oh, yeah, first and goal at the 3. I got to think everybody in this house knows that Jamel James is going to get this rock.
Are we witnessing history? The history books for Jamel James, breaking the plane for the 6th time this ball game, as he has the Falcons single game record, 6 rushing touchdowns in a ball game for old number 5, and 11 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
And unofficially, he's at 296 yards.
Unbelievable. And I mean, it's likely a case you're not seeing him again, but he came 5 yards away from tying the yard record and 6 away unofficially from breaking it. An incredible performance by the Falcons senior running back Jamel James, as tying the record last week. He doesn't have to share it with anybody anymore. This toy is all his. 6 rushing touchdowns in a ball game belongs to Jamel James. Get your name in the record books.
Yeah, it's there now. He now has the bullseye on his back. This has been an outstanding game by him. And, you know, to be 4 yards shy of 300, does T.J. Parker know? Does he care at this point? I think what he cares about is he's got to get ready for Week 12. Now they'll start turning that. So if the defense can come out and get a stop, this game, I don't think he gets to come back out. Now, if Mayfield somehow gets a score,
stops that clock again,
stops that clock, maybe he comes back out. But I got to think the damage has been done. Get some young players some time at this point, because it's still a long road. This is only week 1 of potentially, you want this to be a 6-week season after you get to the postseason. They're not looking at keep him healthy. Less licks and hits on those legs. That's what you want.
And, I mean, we've seen, too, in the nature of the sport, it only takes one hit, too, to drastically change a season. And you look at the risk-reward factor. Would it be a nice moment? Certainly, but is the risk of potentially losing what we've seen here tonight for the next week when you're going to need it, because it's likely St. Vincent St. Mary's that's coming to town.
You're going to need both of those gentlemen next week. You're going to need Cam Smith, Dominic Perry. I mean, coach is going to do what he has to do, but I think right now it's on the defense's shoulder. Let's let's see if we can get this ball back in our midst real quick and just run things down.
And the Falcons going to have to deal with Mayfield again, still on the special teams unit.
That was a great tackle.
Had to drag him down.
He drags him down. Number 6 on the tackle there for Fitch. So
for the Falcons, I believe that's Arthur Kroom.
Arthur Kroom. That's a big tackle because he had daylight once he got to the sideline there.
And they've done that a couple times before that instance. The Falcons on the special teams unit making some great open field tackles. You need to. With the speed that's hosted in this region, they can burn you if you don't. And if you can't hold those plays on their side of the field, short field position with a lot of these offenses in this region, they can make you pay.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. What do you do if you're Mayfield? You've run the ball effectively, but time is not on your side.
You're going to have to – I mean, they're going to go right back to the ground game, it seems like. I don't know. Mayfield, I don't know if it's necessarily a case you're trying to come back in this game. You just want to see execution. You're playing for pride. You want to see these guys execute in a playoff game and know what you got. And it's a case where you throw a lot of those younger guys out there. I wonder – when we're going to start seeing the seniors coming off the field and you're going to start seeing the hugs on the sidelines for a great season. Because you hinted it earlier with the Falcons, same case for Mayfield. You're in the playoffs. Not everyone gets to be in this position. You want to get everyone experience while you still can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the big thing, too, Santoro's actually had a nice game for Mayfield. So if for the Wildcats, this more than likely is your final game. So for Fitch, you're going to get to play here next week. Those guys might just not come back on the field on the next series. For Mayfield, the coach probably wants to bring them out one at a time when he decides it's enough.
Monastero going to be one of the returners for this Mayfield team, junior quarterback, and he bursted on the scene this year. 1,400-plus rushing yards, fine season for this young man. And now we have confirmation, too, so hang on, breaking news right now as the Falcons 305 rushing yards for Jamel James. So we can officially confirm that Jamel James not only has the single game touchdown record for the Falcons, he has a single game rushing yards record. 305 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, we talk about big dog performance. I don't know if that's next level big dog performance.
He is like the biggest dog right now. I mean, that is crazy, and it's from their official site, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to guess he's done.
There's no reason to tote the rock anymore. So DJ Williams, I mean, tough luck draw, right, for a record holder. He took down a record that held here at Austintown Fitch for 9 years. DJ Williams did at that 301-yard performance. Unfortunately for him, it lasted 2 weeks before Jamel James took it right back at 305.
Well, you never know. Williams might be like, all right, my turn next week. Gladly take that against Akron St. V's. If that's who they play.
Which Akron St. V's,
all signs are pointing to that.
50-6, it was a halftime lead for St. V's over Cleveland John Hay. So we're likely expecting 4 versus 5 next week. Nice pass rattled off to Parnell, and Parnell gets a first down on the Falcons side. But if you're looking at this, the Falcons' run game has been firing at all cylinders. It's been a well-oiled machine. And if you can get 42 back, DJ Williams, to pair nicely with 5, like a fine wine with a cheese, they pair well together.
We'll tack in what Smith's at it. They're probably close to 375, 380 on the night.
That's incredible to think, too. I mean, statement. And this was a team, too, Mike, that we talked about, a lot of internal discussions about the talent this Mayfield team brought in. And the losses that they had were against really quality playoff teams. And we thought this was going to be a test for the Falcons, and Mayfield got their body punches in, but never once in this ball game did you feel like it was threatened for Fitch to give up the lead in this one. They firmly held it from the onset, and they haven't let go since.
No, they got everything dialed up right. They deferred, got the stop, first play, bam. Before Mayfield could blink, it was really 14-0. Mayfield did answer, but Fitch looked him right in the eye at that point and went, oh, you want to play? Okay, here we go, But
the experiences that they've gotten, the Falcons have the last couple seasons, hoping that it's going to pay off. Oh, nice pressure, looking for the sack as he's falling, got the pass away, and I believe a catch near the original line of scrimmage. Nice job falling away to complete that pass. Very difficult to maintain accuracy when you're falling to the ground.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll tell you, that was a nice play, and he had all kinds of pressure, but he got the ball off, sets up 2nd and 10 for him now at the Fitch 47, but the Falcons, they're content with whatever Mayfield wants to do right now because their second opponent of this half just keeps ticking away.
Absolutely. Under 10 minutes to go, clock just ticking away, and the Falcons just trying to wane that clock away to 0-0. Mayfield trying to make the score a little bit more respectable before the end of the ball game. But like we said, Falcons right around their averages, above average offensively at 56 points. They averaged 41 this season. Defensively, they averaged allowing right around 23. So right around their average defensively, above average offensively. Yeah. And spells a Falcon victory here in Week 11.
It was funny when I was looking at the Mayfield scores earlier this week, just seeing what they had done this season. In the games they won, they scored over 40 points. So you knew the offense was on the field a lot. In the games they lost, I think in one of them they got over 30. The rest of them they were held under 30 points. So you just look at it just the way it's dictated to them. They're not a bad football team, but they're also not on the level of the Falcons.
No, and I mean, there's a lot to be built upon, and you hinted it earlier, Mike. You talked about when this team, Mayfield, 2-3 win team, missed the playoffs a year ago, but it's a team that's familiar with the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're not strangers to it. They never seem like they're more than a year or two out from rebuilding and getting right back to that stage. This seems like a solid transition team, making it back to the playoffs after a down year last year. Bringing back your quarterback, bringing back a couple key positions. It might be Mayfield's time to make a serious run then going into next year, potentially being a host team too in the top 8. As going back to that ground game, bouncing off some blockers and some tacklers near the Falcons' red zone at the 20.
Well, and the thing I'm noticing now on this drive, there's maybe only 2 or 3 starters left on the Fitch defense. I'm seeing a lot of kids that haven't played so far. So now, for Mayfield, this is a pride drive. This is all about pride. You get it. You're hoping to punch one in here, but they know what lies ahead here at the end of 7 minutes.
Springfield has completed the other side of that matchup, 42-0 win over Matthews. So we will see Springfield JFK round 2 next week. And you want to talk about a premier matchup on the network, that's going to be more than fun. Canton Central Catholic looks like they're going to put the finishing touches on Mineral Ridge's fine season. Hey, Coach Shaner, Tristan Valley had a great season, turning it around, getting the Rams back to the playoffs. They have a lot to build on over there as well. New Philadelphia, Canfield separating themselves 27-10.
Yeah. We got a dogfight up at Jefferson.
That one was going to be close, and that's actually like a little NE8 part of the bracket. The winner of that game plays the winner of Hubbard and Girard. So we're going to see another NE8 matchup of the winners of those games as well.
That's one I haven't seen scroll by lately, but that was also a tight game at the half. So those 4 teams all know each other, all played each other this year. It's great.
You love to see it, too. Familiar faces, you never know what's going to happen because we've already seen it. Those two games, too, that were a little bit lopsided scores, not so much. Very hard to beat a team twice in this sport as they go to the ground game, do the Wildcats, and they get about a yard inside the Falcons' 10. It's second down.
Tick, 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 tick.
Pretty much what you're looking to do. 6 minutes to go. Trying to burn it away. United was in a dogfight in Rootstown. 55-42, they're up on that one. High scoring affair, almost 100 points on the night.
And early on, Rootstown was down big.
Got to give credit to the Rovers for fighting back, going short on the pass game and getting tackled at the 5. So this brings up third down. No doubt 2 shots to the end zone coming up.
It has to be. I mean, if you're a Wildcat player, this is all about pride, not quitting, finishing it out, and they're trying to get it done. But if you're Fitch, you're getting ready to turn the page. We know TJ, he'll talk to us after the game. We're going to run down to the field, get some interviews. But my thing here is he's not even going to celebrate tonight. I know TJ. He's going right to the film room.
Absolutely. He's definitely already going to be scouting St. Vincent St. Mary's. He probably is running some tape he's seen in his head right now as trying to get a touchdown tackle down near the 5, and it's a 4th down coming up for the Mayfield Wildcats.
All or nothing here. I mean, it's just this is a pride touchdown. Can you call the right play? And, Fitch still, I think they might be down to 2 regular guys on the field.
You love to see it, and you love to see the experience for the younger guys.
This is great for these guys that are backups because you never know what lies ahead. Like you said earlier, you're one play away from having to be a starter.
Trying to roll out to the right, looking for an opening, a fire towards the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Mayfield Wildcats. Nice job, nice execution, rolling out of the pocket, making the pass on the move for the touchdown.
He had somebody closing in on him from Fitch, but he bought the time, played it right, and I believe Santoro had the touchdown reception. And
getting him involved again, too.
Yeah,
nice game for him.
Yeah, he's actually played a really nice game for Mayfield. And they'll tack on the extra point here. And
they'll stop the clock, too. I mean, not that it's secondary now, 4:20 left in the game, but you are going to force the Falcons to have to put together an actual drive, too. They can't just let the play clock burn with the game clock.
Yeah.
As we've seen before. Looking at some other scores, that Alliance and Cheney game getting really close. Cheney up 23-21 against Alliance, and we knew that was going to be a fight. Alliance, a very underrated, I think, lower seed, too. I think they came into that one as the 12 seed. I think that's 5-12 in that 5-12. One. But Alliance, we've seen them push West Branch. We've seen them beat Salem.
Yeah.
That's a solid team over there in the Aviators.
They always have. They've got athletes, and sometimes their record isn't indicative of maybe the way their season's gone, but they play a pretty tough schedule. And you just look at things, and you're just like, wow. So some of these games, yes, they're lopsided. It's week 1. Okay, Southern, no problem. 65-21, they advance. We see that Lowville, no problem, they advance. They're into the 50s tonight. We know Valley Christian had a big game. All 3 of those schools put up 50-plus points. But United Rootstown, that's a great game.
Well, I mean, and those are the matchups, right? We saw last year a 16-team beat a 1-team. Now, it wasn't in any of our regions, but we've seen that it can happen. And that's all the OHSAA really needed to push the 16-team format. But those are the matchups, those 8-9, those 7-10 matchups that are always intriguing because those 9-10 teams would be teams that would miss it. But now you give them an opportunity. Here's one for you, too. There was rumblings about it. Cardinal Mooney's up big, 38-7 on Edison right now.
Yeah.
That's a 13-seeded Mooney team that old format doesn't even touch the playoffs. Now they're going to be a problem for a lot of higher seeds, whether you host Mooney or not. I mean, they're
not going to go quietly.
No.
And that's the thing. And the thing I love, you're saying about this, that 5-12 matchup can also be deceiving.
Absolutely.
Because you have schools that they may only have 4-5 wins, but they played a lot of up. And that's how they got to the playoffs, because they were playing divisions higher. And it's just, things are just going to move. And that's why I like the 16-team format. I know some people don't, but it just adds intrigue. For most times, yes, the lower seeds aren't going to win. But when they do, all of a sudden they got confidence. I want to say it was the COVID year. I know Ursuline was a lower seed, and the team that I think it was, they were up from Cleveland. They ended up playing in the state title game. And I was like, wow.
And that's the beautiful thing. We've seen so many teams go on hot streaks. That just ended up in the hands of the back that time, trying to get some yardage. They're going to burn some more clock with this tackle. But you look at what the situation is right now and some upsets that are happening. I tell you what, that Division 5-2 Mooney winning I said at the beginning of the season, Mike, anytime Mooney's in the playoffs, I don't care what seed they are, you gotta respect them. They're dangerous, and they can definitely spoil some seasons.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to take down the 10-0 Edison Wildcats, it looks like, to start off, and talk about a confidence builder going into round 2.
Yeah. And how about Mayfield here? I love the fact they know it's a running clock, so they're going to use a timeout to stop it. And I think they just want the ball back one more time. You're going to give your seniors one more drive.
And that's what you honestly, for Mayfield, like we said, the biggest takeaway they can get is just experience for these younger guys going into next season. Find that foundation you can build off of for this core group of guys going into the 23 season.
Yeah, and if you're Fitch here, nothing crazy. You know you're sitting at 3rd and 13. You just don't turn the ball over. Let us punt it and pin them deep. If they want to drive the field again, that's fine.
Going to go for the pass, the lefty, and it's intercepted and out of bounds for the Wildcats. So acting similar to a punt, just try to throw it with the arm as deep as you can. And
it was a pooch punt.
Yeah, essentially. Mayfield does come up with the interception, and they will ultimately have a chance to get another drive put together against Fitch. But, again, this just goes into coaches' mentality, the attitude of his team. We're not going to give up this fight until we see triple zeros on the clock. I don't care how much time's left.
And I like that. I mean, they know the game's, for all intents purposes, is over. Yes, it is, but no, it's not. They've got young kids that are coming out in this field. Yes, he does have probably his skill guys are his seniors, his leaders. But a couple of them offensive linemen, they might be guys that sub in a little bit here and there. They're going to get a couple series now. And that's big for them because it just adds. And now I like what TJ's going to tell this group. Listen, they're going to throw deep on you. They're going to try and score as quick as they can. Let's make it tough on them. I'm okay if they take 2.5 minutes off and they score on us. I don't really want them to, but if they do, it's okay because then we just got to recover the kick and it's ball game, we move on. And we know they're going to move on, but it's just right now you want these guys, 11 guys that walk on the field for Fitch, to give all effort that they can and play the best that they can.
You want to see that too, and I mean you put in a 10-week season as the Falcon faithful have a lot to celebrate here tonight. Trick or treat, Falcons can't be beat on their sign. I always like to see the creativity of these student sections with these signs. Deep pass, you called it, Mike, dialing it up, trying to haul it in. Almost a nice catch near the 35-yard line. Tangled up, both the receiver and corner raised to their feet. You like to see that. And 3:23 is where it stops.
Now, when you look at that, that's a backup DB. He had perfect position. Yes, the wide receiver almost made the catch, but he was right on him. So you got to, if you're a coaching staff here, you're looking at these kids to see, what they can do under the lights on a Friday night.
No such thing as wasted time in these games, as Coach Parker definitely, you got to figure he's looking across these field, across these 11 guys, and just scouting. If I need to get a guy in an emergency situation, who are the guys I could turn to? Who are the guys I could count on that could step up when I need them to most?
Yeah, and now's the time. I mean, you're getting things to go, and that's exactly what you're asking for. So, I mean, you can't underestimate how valuable this part of the game is for the younger Falcons.
Going up the middle and getting a first down because of it at the 50 for Mayfield.
That's our buddy Santoro.
Yeah, we love it. Santoro, he's really been, he's executed really well. And for a running game from Mayfield that really wasn't doing a whole lot out of the initial onset of the game, they've been able to really establish that running game, and Santoro's been a huge part of it. They just ripped off a nice 30-yard plus pass, too, to get themselves inside the Falcon red zone.
Like I said, they were not going to quit, and, they're still trying to make some plays out here, and, it's just the way the game's going to dwindle.
And, I mean, if if you're on Mayfield's side, you love what you're seeing, too, from your boys. You love to see the fight. You love to see the will to try to win a ball game that, like you said, for all intents and purposes, is pretty much decided at this point, but trying to just make that scoreboard a little less ugly before the end of it. Yeah. And they've cutting it in. They've cutting it back to within 30 and a chance to trim this is just a 3-possession game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they know what's there, but they're just I give them credit. They're running plays. They're trying to make things happen. And
Parnell just putting guys on ice, and he gets them to the 5. Time continues to expire for the Mayfield Wildcats. We're under a minute or 2 minutes to play.
First down. Wildcats. Falcons 6-yard line.
Oh. And trying to go the other way with it for the corner and diving in for a touchdown. And the clock will stop at a minute 46. Mayfield crosses 30 points.
Now here's something funny. Both weird plays in this game. Fitch tipped a screen pass to Santoro. He gets big yards. On that play, they literally had him tied up in the backfield, but he found a way to step out of it, and he scores. So it's a good play for Mayfield. It's one Fitch kids would like to have back. But again, all they got to do is get the ball here, and it's over.
You want to talk about a player, though, that's a perfect example of what you want to be as one of the senior leaders. And you look at what Anthony Santoro's done as the senior running back for this squad, and he's really putting that mentality of, we're going to fight to the last second. We're not going to give up. And he's putting this team on his back, had a great offensive game, and sometimes those performances can get overshadowed by what the team does, but definitely not overshadowed here. Santoro's been a great performer tonight for the Wildcats, and he's given the Falcons defense a lot of fits.
He has. He's made plays via the air, via his legs, extra effort. Like, he's done the little things. I'll bet his coaches love him because he just doesn't quit. And it's, if you look at their sideline, Ty, not one kid has really got their head down. Yeah, the linemen are taking a break. The offense is taking a break. They just come off. But every other reserve player is right up on the line as close as they can be because it's a great thing that they've learned. They're not going to quit. They know it's over, but they're going to play until it says 0.
And you weren't favorites going into this one. You were the lower seed. No one expects you to pull off the upset. It's all about just proving that you belong to a lot of these teams. You obviously want to win the game, no doubt. Every team comes in with that expectation to win. But at the end of the day, you want to prove that you belong. And the Wildcats, yeah, there's some gaps here with the defense and trying to stop Jamel James, but the Wildcats jump on the ball, crossing the 50, and they're going to get it back, it looks like.
Bring that offense back out, and now all of a sudden, if you're Fitch, you're going, I really don't want to put my starters back in, but
if you get another score, 2-point conversion at 34 points.
You're still down 3 scores, but if you get an 8-point swing here and you can do it very quick, now all of a sudden, look what's coming back out. Fitch's main D-line entering the field. TJ's going, end this right now.
Yeah, and that's the case. You can't we know how quickly momentum can swing, and a minute 46 for a team that can score quick. You got to remember, Wildcats still have a couple timeouts too. It's very unlikely, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. And you know as well as I do, Mike, we've seen stranger things happen in this sport.
Yeah, strange things happen, but if you're Fitch, just put an end to it right now.
Looking for that tackle, trying to push off, and they will get the tackle in the backfield near the 50, trying to get the clock continuing to run.
So the clock's going to tick here as we're under a minute 30.
And you got to figure that's pretty much going to spell the end for the Wildcats. We'll see if they elect to take a timeout. As minute 21 is going to be left on the clock where it stops. And second down from the 50 for 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 13.
Yeah.
As the clock runs, Falcons looking to just expire it, get to 000s, 5 wide, empty backfield, looking to dial in a big pass, going up. I think you got the call right, Mike.
Intercept it.
And
I wasn't sure. I didn't mean to step on you there.
No, great call, Mike, and it is an interception. I think Dan Evans III picks that off, and we've seen him utilizing that special teams unit. We've seen him utilizing the offensive game. Shows that he can be a defensive player too. And when he was up for big dog voting a few weeks ago, he had a rushing touchdown, or a receiving touchdown, excuse me. He had a touchdown in special teams on a return and an interception on defense. And you love those guys as a coach, and I'm sure you've talked to plenty of coaches. When you got that kind of three-headed dragon that can be effective on all areas of the football field, they don't have them happen too often, but you love when they do happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, I like the way the defensive backs played for Fitch tonight. And this is probably their favorite play right now. They are set up in victory formation.
You love to see it. And being led out by number 1, Cam Smith, too, and a lot of questions being if he can lead this team to where their ultimate goal is to get to Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. And a lot of questions arose after that broken ankle to Deshaun Vaughn if this Falcons team was going to be plagued by the injury bug again going into the playoffs, and it derailed them before. But they come out strong, and they really put up an emphatic offensive number against a solid Mayfield Wildcats team.
Very impressive win. And, from the running aspect of it, they clicked on all cylinders tonight. From a defensive aspect, they got pressure when they needed pressure. They got everything that they needed to get done, and they take care of business. And that's going to be the final snap of the game, so we can put this one in the books.
As the Falcons are a winner in this one by a final score of 56-34, as Austintown Fitch gets their 10th win on the year, and they will be moving on to face off against the Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's Fighting Irish right here in Austintown, Ohio next week.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That could be a great game.
It's going to be 4 versus 5, and it's going to be a matchup where the winner will go on to the Final Four in the region and get that much closer to Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. But final thoughts real quick on this game. I mean, really, X-Factor player of the game. Can't go further than Jamel James.
Nah, he's got to be our player of the game. I mean, 305 yards rushing, school record. Oh, by the way, 6 touchdowns, 5 rushing, 1 receiving. Oh, school record. And he was just Mr. Everything. Mayfield did not have an answer for him. He got the job done. He did it the way he needed to get it done, and that's exactly what Fitch had to do. Their defense was outstanding. I thought the D-line controlled the line of scrimmage for most of the night. Yes, Mayfield got some splash plays and some big plays here and there, but for the most part, when push came to shove, Austintown's defense answered the bell.
It's an Austintown Fitch winner as the Falcons are moving on in the OHSAA Division II Region 5 bracket, where they will be hosting the Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's Fighting Irish right here in Austintown for Week 12. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and watching this broadcast of YSN Live Football. To our proud owners, both DJ Yoakley and Brian Scott, who were able to bring this game to each and every person unable to make it in attendance tonight. To our GM, Steve Leslie, who with his work with Bobstein Park Baseball, YSU Football, YSNLive.com, the man of many hats, and we wouldn't know what to do if he didn't wear all of them, so we thank you, Steve, for all your contributions, both locally and within YSNLive.com. And most importantly, to all of you who tuned in and helped support these kids, schools, and communities, you guys are really and truly what YSN Live is all about. And so we thank you. If you were tuning in from the Mayfield community, getting your first taste of YSNLive.com, we'd like to remind you that YSN is a free service, and to contact your athletic director or YSNLive.com for details on how to get YSN involved in your school. Or if you're right here in the Austintown community supporting your Fitch Falcons like you've done each and every season, we want to thank you for your continued support of not only Austintown Fitch Athletics, but also of YSNLive.com. From my partner Mike Ackelson in the booth here tonight, this is Ty Bartell bidding you all a farewell and a good night, everybody.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.